Make sure your phones are on off or in silent, please. When your name is called, please stand up.
Thank you for the announcement. All right, everyone, happy Monday. Please make sure you find a seat and take it. Well, not take it, just sit in it. All right, today is going to be a great day because it's Monday. It's a fresh new start. All right, I'm going to call the docket. When I call the docket, let me know you are here. If you're on the first row, that signifies that you came in late, so you may not want to be sitting on the first row. If you're on the first row, that signifies that you came in late, so you may not want to be sitting on the first row. All right, Joseph Garza. In custody, we have Michael Teo, Matthew Cole. In custody, we have Joshua Carroll, Robert Chevalier. If you are here, your case has been reset for tomorrow, which is Valentine's Day. You know, if you go to the store now, flowers are through the roof with the price. All right, in custody, we have Daniel Rosas. All right, Brandon Morris. So supposedly that's going to be taken care of in absentia. Noah Cruz. In custody, we have Abelardo Torres and Joshua Carroll, Reuben Hawkins, Isabel Garza, Thomas Marsh. In custody, we have Arturo Contreras Santos. Thank you. Fabian Cardenas. Patricia Ann Lopez. Jose Corona. Am I pronouncing that last name correctly? Is it Corona? Okay. James Lopez.
Here, Your Honor.
Thank you. Brandon Castillo. Thank you. Again, Patricia Ann Lopez. Jose Corona. Raymond Alejandro.
Here, Your Honor.
Demetric Jackson.
Here.
Thank you. In custody, we have Dominique Brinkley, Angelica Gonzalez. In custody, we have Raymond Ruiz, Luis Mendez, Caleb Ruiz, Raymond Ruiz, Timothy Ryan Hernandez. Thank you. Ariel Reyes. All right, thank you. Ricardo Patlan. Juan Orozco. In custody, we have Sebastian Castillo, Tanya Lopez, Rihanna Macias, Tucker, Margot, how you pronounce this? Margot Zawitzi. I added an A to the last name. I shouldn't have done that. Tucker A. Margot Zawitz. And I know I pronounced it correctly that time. He's not even here to appreciate that. In custody, we have Vanessa Varela, Amanda Villegas, Devin Magallanes, Mason Schmidt, Deputy Lord, I'm disappointed in the people whose name has the double L's in it. I've just learned how to do the Y's for that. In custody, we have Kevin Luna, Manuel Mendoza, Juan Aviles, Scott Marcelino.
Can you stand up, please?
Right. Vanessa Varela is in custody. Devin Magallanes. Devontae Lott. David Martin. Larry Foster. Brandon Sierra. Angel Gonzalez is in custody. Is there anyone who's present and your name was not called or you came in late? Yes, what's your name?
Singleton.
All right, just have a seat and we'll get with you. Anyone else? Yes,
I don't know, Leyva.
first name?
Leyva.
No, first name.
I don't know.
All right, thank you. Do you know who your attorney is? Mr. Leyva? Who's your attorney?
Cabaña.
All right, thank you. All right, everyone, these are the rules of the court. I try to keep the well of the court as least congested as possible. To attorneys, those lines are there for a reason. Do not come around the line and unless it's requested for you to come around the line or you request to come around the line. If you have a person who's in custody, ask the deputy, they will bring them out. Do not leave once you made your request. If your client requests an interpreter, even if you speak their language, I will still need an interpreter. Once an interpreter is called, do not leave the courtroom because there's a shortage of interpreters and they can't stay in any one courtroom too long. If you have a case, there are boxes. Just pull your file from the box, place it on the prosecutor's desk. This table is criminal trial division. This table is family violence or special crimes or SVU. So once you put your file down, please confer with them. Do not approach the court if you have not conferred with your client. All right, everyone. Today is Monday. It's a new day. Put some patience in your pocket. It's going to be great. Like they say in Gracie's Corner, good morning. Today is going to be a good day. So please confer. No, but we're still supposed to be tracking our time. They didn't tell us that.
Yeah, you're supposed to be tracking this for whole month.
Oh, well. All righty then. Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, can you never stop by before? Come in? Thank you. No, she's gonna drop. No, no.
Hello.
Guess I check out the first one.
Yes.
Here we go. Beta. 230047.
Okay, so and can you tell her letter? Tucker? You're the right spot.
All right, who's here on Ariel Reyes?
They're hitting him, but while I was complaining with the prosecutor, he has 2 night mag cases. Hanging also here in Bear County, Vincent Callahan is a player. I had him on bond for this and they showed he's in jail. Apparently he bonded out, picked up 2 more. An ag assault and a evading in a vehicle, 2 or more.
All right, let's have him, there.
I was just gonna see if we could go ahead and appoint Danny to handle the whole package. Apparently he's on a higher list on that.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you get Jenny Callahan in here, please?
What's your signature?
38, 53, 61.
Last week, it's on my day. Good mess. We did make it to the top. Okay, well, I'm.
Okay,
I'll go get
yes.
the folder real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna-
Okay, all right, because I had the paperwork done already. As soon as Mac gets here, it could be pretty quick.
I'm not open. On a laptop? You got a Patlan? Timothy Hernandez. Yvonne Lott. Abel Gutierrez. Marsh. Alicia Morey. Noah Cruz. Devin Magallanes. Schmidt Nathan. Amanda Viegas.
Yeah, I'm just going to commission them all.
Thanks. Things that we've done. This is the one that we saw. In the one person. So I'm taking the official plea facility. I've seen the first year.
No. Devontae Lott. What's she missing?
Good morning, Devontae Lott.
I contacted him like 10 days ago.
Mhm.
Didn't come that day. And I sent messages, phone calls.
All right, we'll put it on the record. All right, could I have a prosecutor, please? Court is calling 2023 CR. Well, strike that. Before we do this, have you checked down the hallway?
No. I run down, but I haven't seen him.
All right, if you could check down the hallway since we used to be located there,
No problem.
and then we'll take this up when you come back. All right, and who are the people in the waiting room? Sean Malloy, Mark W., Stephen Morey. All right, Mark W., can you unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yes, who are you here for?
Matthew,
I mean, what's your full name?
Mark Richard Williamson.
And who are you here for?
Matthew Cole.
Are you a witness?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm waiting for his attorney. So I'm going to put you in the waiting room. Just remain there and I'll call you when we're ready.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Sean Malloy, who are you here for?
There we go. Hi,
Who are you here for?
Matthew Cole.
Are you a witness?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to put you in the waiting room. As soon as his attorney is here, we'll take that matter up.
Sounds good.
Stephanie Moray,
Hi,
you need to show your video. All right, who are you here for?
Matthew Cole.
And are you a witness?
Yes.
All right, we'll wait till his attorney shows up. I'm going to place you in the waiting room. As soon as his attorney shows up, we'll begin.
Okay.
All right. All right, can I have a prosecutor, please? Court is calling 2023 CR 0060, State of Texas versus Devontae Lott. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Jorgens, the state.
for the
And for
defense?
the defense.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:24 a.m. Deputy Lord, did you make an announcement for Devontae Dion Lott?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I did not.
All right, defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Your Honor, approximately 10 days ago, I had contact with my client through text, but since then I have not been able to reach him.
All right, state.
State moves for bond forfeiture.
All right, Caroline, is this a PR bond?
Who wants to just look up?
Do you know if your client's on a PR bond?
Your Honor, I believe he is. I think because he went through from Havens for Hope and was his first felony. Pretty sure it's a PR bond.
No, he's not on the field.
I'm sorry.
He's not on the field.
All right, then the court will issue a bond forfeiture. The court will remand your client without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge. My big excuse.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you may want to call the bondsman.
Thank you.
Now,
Right? I had to go back up.
Oh, did you get your issue taken care of? It looks better.
It eventually stopped bleeding and then, so I only look like somewhat of a mutant.
Well, you know what? One of our jurors, he didn't end up on the panel, but he's a doctor, skin doctor, the one that I sent you the number for. He was saying, oh, the guy who was walking, he recognized you right away in the injury or the issue. He's like the guy walking by with the Band-Aid. He's like, that needs to be taken care of right away.
Well, I wish my doctor had the same sense of urgency, but
Yeah,
you do your consult by cell phone.
yeah. Oh, wow. All right, who is here on Ricardo Patlan?
That's me, Judge.
And Mr. Patlan, if you'll come forward.
Judge, he's not present. I've had no contact from him.
Okay, all right. Could I have a prosecutor, please? And Deputy Laura, if you could make an announcement for Ricardo Patlan, please.
yes, Your Honor, I already did, and he did not answer.
All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2023 CR 0472, State of Texas versus Ricardo Patlan. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Jorgens for the state.
Defense?
Robert Mauer for defendant, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 9:29 a.m. The defendant has not appeared in court. Deputy Laura, did you make the announcement for Mr. Patlan?
Yes, I did, Your Honor. Did not answer.
And defense, did you check in the former location of the 187?
No, Judge, but I'll tell you, we sent an SB 7 letter to him in November, had no response. And we called and left a voicemail last week and had no response. I've had no contact from them at all.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state news for a bond forfeiture.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Oh, and I know you got that taken care of because of Rachel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, she's been on me pretty hard. But I need that.
Could I see the file on Cole, please? Oh, no, they're not ready. I'm just reading the PSI report.
He's back on the docket. He's here. Keep walking. But you're gonna do that. Keep her back. No, you won't. Good morning.
Thank you. Who's here on Mason Smith?
I am Judge.
All right, Mr. Smith. Come forward. All right, what's happening with this case?
Judge, he's got a DWI in County Court 4 arising out of this same incident. And the DA has said that she will TIC this felony if he pleads to the DWI.
All right, so when is that going to take place?
The DWI is set forth March 28th because it's a drug case, so they had to retest the labs.
All right, and this is County Court 4?
County Court 4.
Does anybody want to check with County Court 4 and tell them what the agreement is here and see if they can move that case up from March?
I imagine that.
All right, if you can check on that, then come back and then I can reset it at an appropriate date.
Okay, how soon, you want us in as soon as possible?
Yes,
I assume.
yes.
All right, thank you.
All right, just have a seat and I'll take that up as soon as you're all ready. Juan Aviles.
Just present, right? Judge.
Good morning. All right, where's your client? All right, what's happening with this case?
We called for last week, so we're still in impasse. We need to trial setting.
All right, so we'll come back tomorrow.
Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form. Thanks for dressing appropriately for court.
He does it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Martinez, Luis Martinez, did you file a election? Okay. All right, I'll see if it's in the file.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll do it.
All right, thank you. Yes.
I just got to say, yes, we've already been able.
You'll put me in the queue. I'd appreciate it. So I can get this done before I start my murder.
Oh. What court are you in?
We're gonna start with the 4:37, 10 o'clock.
Oh, well, I'll take you up now.
I'd appreciate that.
And is your client,
He's over here in the orange.
all right, as soon as I get the file, we'll take that up.
Thanks.
What's your client's name?
Joshua Carroll.
Okay.
Shit, hold on, Jed, there's victim impact apparently.
I just got that out myself, Judge, and my advocate for that, that's a different case.
Okay.
She just went out the hallway to look for him. He was here and I was just lost.
Okay. All right, so we'll,
Stand back.
well,
Or
since
you want
that,
to do it and then we'll do victim impact later?
yes, because he has a trial at 10.
No problem.
Okay. Mr. Carroll, if you'll come down, please. And this is just for one case, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The victim impact or the sentencing? The sentencing is one case.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 6812, State of Texas versus Joshua Tremaine Carroll. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
for the defense?
Charles Bunk for Mr. Carroll.
And are you Mr. Carroll?
Yeah.
All right. So you entered a plea to paragraph B on September 28, 2022. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty. There were no applications. So that was in September of 2022. So why are we just now doing this in February of 2023?
You had allowed him some time to get his affairs in order. He had an unfortunate event which caused him to miss his court date. So they picked him up rather than come to you when he got picked up and asked you to consider a bond and getting him out. We left him in there on purpose to pay his penance. And we're asking you to follow the plea bargain if you would.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 2 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. And it says that both parties agree that if he didn't show up for sentencing, he would be subject to the full range of punishment. So state, are you still proceeding with the plea bargain agreement?
Your Honor, in light of him not showing up, I believe the full range, as it says in the agreement. At this point, we'll defer to the court for the reasoning behind that he didn't show up and it was a valid reason. If it
Right.
was
You wanna-
hospital stay or what.
You want to call your client as a witness to explain?
Yes,
Could you raise your right hand for me?
raise your hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand, state your name for the record. State your name for the record. All right, why didn't you show up for court?
Cause I have some problems.
We all have problems, but you're not telling me what your problems were.
Well, first of all, my daughter had her baby, but I came up with, I was sick soon, so my corona.
Everybody used coronavirus as an excuse, but did you provide any medical documentation that you had that?
Yeah, I do, I have that.
No. Did you provide any medical documentation to the court that you were ill?
I think I did, I should have. Do you have any?
I do not for the date you're addressing, Judge.
Yes. So you did not, because if you would have, I would have that, and I don't have it.
So you don't have any paperwork at all?
I don't have anything to show that you were ill, and that's the reason why you didn't show up for your sentencing. I do have that I was lenient with you to allow you to get your affairs in order and to come back on a different date for sentencing. That's what I have. So why shouldn't I sentence you to beyond the 2 years? Because that's your agreement. Your agreement is if you don't show up for sentencing, you are subject to the full range of punishment. So my question to you is, why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years?
Say that again, please.
Your agreement was that if you did not show up for your sentencing date, that your range of punishment would be up to 20 years in prison. You did not show up. So the question is, why shouldn't I send you to prison for 20 years?
I most definitely didn't understand that one.
No, you did, because it's a part of your plea bargaining agreement. And what I can tell you, and I'm sure your counsel will tell you this, and even though this is a new prosecutor to this court, I go over the plea bargaining agreement in great detail and ask on the record, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And usually, well, not usually, every time I ask the defendant first, do you understand that to be the plea bargaining agreement? And they will say yes. Then I will either ask the state of the defense attorney, is that the plea bargaining agreement? And I can tell you that you were aware that you were subject to the entire range of punishment. So we're back to this. Why shouldn't I sentence you to 20 years? Because that was your bargain, that if you didn't show up for court, that you will be subject to the full range of punishment. And I remember all of the people who say, give me some extra time and I will show up.
What was going on with your daughter? Yeah, I mean, she had a baby next month or whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't think.
What do you mean she has her baby next month? You told me she already had the baby.
No. She went in the hospital. She was sick. I thought that she wasn't gonna even, that she was gonna lose the baby or whatever, you know what I mean?
And when did this happen?
Like last month.
All right, so that happened last month. So that would have been January. So that still doesn't explain why you didn't show up for your sentencing on November. You were set for sentencing on November 3rd. Here's the thing. Sometimes people don't have an excuse. Sometimes it's like, I made a bad decision. I was enjoying my free life out here and I just didn't show up. So I'm trying to figure out, is that your case or is there something else that was going on in your life? Because you're looking at 20 years in prison.
That he doesn't have an excuse that we want to offer at this time. He does. I mean, I agree with the court. You did admonish him. He understood that. I'm concerned. I mean, as we stand here today, he's not near as cognizant of I've dealt with as he's been in the past. I'm somewhat concerned about that, but I mean, he's not a man of means. When that November date came, his phone was cut off. We were not able to locate him. I mean, he didn't. I mean, I know I spoke to him after that when his daughter was sick. But we'd ask you not to sentence him to 20 years. We don't think that's We hope that that's not what the court decides to do, but if the court decides, we asked the court to follow the plea bargain and perhaps give him 3 years, to, you know. Have been indicated that the court takes this seriously and
All right, state.
In lieu of the explanation of the judge, the state, with previous negotiations that we have in our file, we believe the appropriate sentence would be 5 years. 2 years.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will sentence you to 4 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served, take in consideration 2021 CR 2207, 2021 CR 1465, 2021 CR 2771. The court will give you credit for any time served. There's a $500 fine. Time and money will run concurrent. I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
that's your judicial signature.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand? We can go off the record. Mr. Carroll, I always, when attorneys say, can you give my client some extra time to report? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But I take it very seriously when I give someone time to report. Because when you think about it, somebody's saying, all right, I'm going to show up and I'm going to take my prison sentence. You didn't show up. And that's a problem. And if there would have been a good explanation, things may have turned out differently.
I don't even remember even.
All right, so you can have him have a seat. They're supposed to impact. There's not.
No,
All right, thank you.
Judge, sorry, we're just gonna go ahead and surpass that because.
All right, thank you. Good luck on your trial.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
For us, yeah.
Never gonna happen. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because what I'll do is I'll just write these some notes. Oh, no, I'll make a mistake.
Oh, yes.
I thought you wanted. All right, are we ready on Philip Singleton?
Yes, Your Honor, they're doing a fingerprint right now. We'll be there 1 second.
All right, thank you.
Councilman, I'm too big to do. Yeah, that's right.
Hello, good morning. All right, so I'm going to need everyone, if you're in the box, I'm going to need you either to whisper or move to the other end. We're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2022 CR 9682, State of Texas versus Philip Singleton. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garahan, Your Honor.
Matt Stolhansky for Mr. Singleton.
All right, and are you Mr. Singleton?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so guys in the box, You're all gonna have to move it to the other end. All right, we're back on the record. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Singleton, I'm showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Singleton, I'm showing you what's entitled court admonishments and defendants waivers and affidavit of admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
You need to take your hat off. Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, ma'am.
Find a seat. Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Singleton, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. There's to be restitution, if any, to Lamplighter Estates, LAMPLIGHTER, at 4801 Goldfield, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation and 150 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Your Honor, 1 second, just for the record's clarification, he's an American citizen.
I thought he said he was a citizen.
Yeah, we didn't. When the gentleman took his cap off, we were in the middle of that, so I don't think he responded.
No, he did.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I'm a citizen.
Okay. All right. Okay. I just
But thank you. I appreciate that.
double checking.
All right. Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State exhibit number 1 with all this attachments.
Your Honor, I have reviewed that with my client. We have no objection.
All right, Mr. Singleton, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and judgments, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. We're off the record for a moment. States, you may proceed with your other cases.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back on the record. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Singleton works every day. He's a cement form builder. He's a laborer, but he works every day. He has been on probation before. And never had an NPR filed on him, obviously on the previous. And we're asking that you follow the plea and allow him to be on probation as agreed.
All right, so Mr. Singleton, how are you handling your sobriety?
Good, I'm not drinking. It's
Me.
over I go to church.
How long have you been sober?
Since that day.
All right, so why is it that it appears that you need to be on probation in order to remain sober? Why is that? Why do we have these instances where you're sober and then you're drinking, then you're driving?
That I don't explain. It's not normal. The default in my character.
All right, you're gonna have to do treatment, you understand? All right. So are you living by yourself?
No, ma'am.
All right, who do you live with?
My ex-wife.
Oh, all right.
Lou Ann Singleton from Lulu's Bakery and Green Restaurant.
All right, so well, not too many people can say they live with their ex. And this witness who was with you, who said that they take you to your AA meetings, who is that?
I'm in the concrete business and he's a subcontractor that ties rebar for me from time to time.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. As previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There's to be restitution, if any, to Lamp Lighter Estates, located at 4801 Goldfield, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. Defense, if you think the restitution amount, if we're given a restitution amount, if you think that is something that is too high, we can always come back and have a restitution hearing.
And if I may, I think insurance has already covered that.
All right, just turn in that information to probation. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There is to be regular UAs. Are you currently driving?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your vehicle needs to be equipped with ignition interlock.
Yes, ma'am. Have that.
Okay. And the court is going to order ignition interlock for the full term. There's always a chance that the court will reconsider that, but for now, I'm ordering it to be for the full term. And there's to be no driving of any vehicle without ignition interlock. And there was a let me see. They did get your TAP evaluation done. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to start you off with a referral to felony drug court. You need to let them know what your history is, and you need to probably be accepted in there, okay?
Okay.
So they can give you the tools that you need in order to not drink anymore.
Okay.
So we're going to do a referral to felony drug court. If not accepted, in felony drug court, then intensive outpatient treatment with probation. There's going to be 90 meetings in 90 days. There's a 2-year Texas driver's license suspension. DWI education course. Victim impact panel, and that's going to be live. They're going to be field visits 1 time per month. I have to write everything down so that they can have it. Okay. So that'll be 1 time.
Copy of all this, right?
Oh, you will have a copy of this, and I need to make sure this is legible for the probation officer. So there's going to be field visits 1 time per month. Field visits may count as reporting. Whether or not it counts as reporting is dependent upon your probation officer. If your probation officer want to count the field visit as you reporting, then that can be the case. There's 150 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you the COVID vaccination, but if you do it with booster, 40 of those hours will be waived. The remainder will be waived upon completion of your 90 sober meetings.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. There's to be proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider. Or with minors. All right, is there anything else you need from the council?
Yes, ma'am. Would the court consider an occupational license so we can?
Yes,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the deal, Mr. Singleton. My statistics professor would be very upset with me because I haven't really done a study, but it's just what I've noticed in the world. Usually when people drink and drive, the person who's drunk behind the wheel of a vehicle or impaired behind the wheel of a vehicle, they never get hurt. If there's an accident, it's always some innocent person walking across the street, some grandparent just on their way trying to live their life. Don't be the person who ends up being intoxicated, hitting someone, and then coming to court crying over it. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And thank you again for dressing appropriately for court.
I respect you, just out of respect.
Oh, I appreciate that. And I know I can trust you because, as I said, in the Western, they say if you wear a belt, anybody who wears a belt and suspenders, if they can't trust their pants to stay up, they can't be trusted. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
All right.
ma'am.
So what I'm having you do is you sit on that front row and wait for probation. Just sit on this side, on this front row. If you'll show it to them,
Yes, ma'am.
counsel.
Am I dismissed?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wait. Now go.
Who's here on Rayana Macias? Rayana Macias, who's here for that person? Okay. Who's here on Noah Cruz?
President Your Honor. Judge, he has an MTR today that the probation made a recommendation to re-enroll in the VIP program, but he has a pending county court fight where assault where he was involved in a squabble. And so that's still pending and we're hoping maybe we can reset that to go get it resolved.
All right, where's Noah Cruz? Come forward. When is that case going to be resolved?
Well, it's set on March 4th, and so I will get right on it and get out.
Which court?
County Court 4.
Is there any reason we can't go to County Court 4 and see if they can have this set sooner?
I will make attempts to do that. I will go to court today and see if we can.
All right, so let's leave Mr. Cruz here, and if you can find out, we can get that set sooner.
Very good.
All
Thank you.
right,
Judge.
thank you. Who's here on Raymond Alejandro?
Your Honor. Morning, Judge.
Morning.
I've confirmed with Ms. Mitchell on this case. I would like to set up an appointment with her intern to watch the child support video.
Okay, where's Mr. Alejandro?
Oh, right here.
All right, so what is happening?
Judge, I want to schedule an appointment to have him watch the child safe video. We do have an offer in this case. Not really prepared to accept it without looking at that. I don't mind, Judge, if it's a very short turnaround up to the court, that I would ask for time to do that.
All right, have you received all the discovery?
I believe we have, Your Honor.
All right, I'll need an acknowledgement of discovery done today.
We'll do that, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. How long would you all expect this trial to go?
3 days, maybe 4, but probably sure.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, in this case, I need a jury trial setting.
April 3rd.
All right, your plea deadline date and jury date will be April 3rd. On that date, if you decide to go to a jury trial, then the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court after that date. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, we'll give you a reset form.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Who's here on Michael Teo? And before we go on the record, I think, have we already addressed this motion for return for property?
I think we were going to address that after sentencing. Your Honor.
Yeah, Judge, because the state wanted to wait until after the sentencing. They say that I believe it's
It's the ban that's to the fall.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Judge, we do have after everything.
Okay, all right. And your client's in the middle, if you can. Court is calling 2022 CR 8111, State of Texas versus Michael Teo. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state,
Jason Dorkins for the state.
for the defense?
Andres Camping for the defense.
And are you Mr. Teo?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You entered a plea on January 17th to count 1. You entered a plea of guilty. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Count 2 was waived without objection, and so was the enhancement. According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 10 years in the prison. Are both parties ready to proceed? State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would ask the court to allow Mr. Teo allocution, and then we have one.
All right. You want to raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Michael Taylor.
All right, what would you like to say?
To begin with,
my condolences, my utmost respect to the family of Mr. Neal. I'm guilty. I failed to render aid. I can replay the incident in my head a million times. I kind of wish I didn't get up, or maybe I drove fast or slower. I'm sorry. I apologize to the family. I'm not a bad person. I just made a bad decision that day, and I understand that I have to take responsibility for my actions. That's it, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, we would just have argument. The defendant is charged under the failure to stop or render aid statute resulting in death. It is counsel's belief that the legislative intent behind that statute was not particularly to govern a situation that happened in this case. Back on the 1st of July of 2019, this was during the construction that was still going on, that was heavily around the 151 and 410 interchange south of Petrenko. And because of all that construction, the various entrances and exits to the highways were closed, and people were forced to take, instead of a turnaround, to go through a light and come back around. And it was at the intersection where the turnaround was closed that the incident took place. And unfortunately, given the circumstances, this was in the saddest way to express this, an accident. There was no mens rea or mental culpability by Michael involving this, except for leaving the scene and being an individual who failed to stop and give assistance. According to the evidence, and from what I've seen, the first person on the scene, who was an individual behind the decedent, was a woman who had been a nurse for over 20 years, I believe. And she was immediately on scene and was able to provide whatever medical measures were necessary. This was a highly trafficked area, and due to the city statutes and city laws and requirements, there was off-duty law enforcement around the scene because there was construction going on. That's required by the municipal code. And so there were multiple individuals that were immediately there, present around the scene, and that could have administered far superior aid than Mr. Tello could have on the date in question. And I don't believe that there is anything that Michael could have done that would have changed the outcome that happened to, unfortunately, that happened to Mr. Neal. I think that even though Mr. Teo did drive through that intersection, he wasn't the individual that made the contact. His vehicle was struck. And that's not to put blame on Mr. Neal. That is just to show the court that Mr. Teo was not the individual that tried to take the decedent off of the road. He didn't swerve into him. There wasn't any aggressive actions taken by the defendants against the decedent. And that is the only purpose for which that I inform the court or make that type of argument, not to put any blame on the decedent. I know that Mr. Teo is remorseful for his actions. He has reminded me that on multiple times when we've had interactions with each other, and when he's helped me prepare for this case. And I do believe that is the legislative intent behind the statute to govern a situation on a farm to market road or a rural county road or something where there is not high traffic, where the state wants to discourage individuals from leaving the scene and leaving somebody there to bleed out without any shot or of help. However, that wasn't the case surrounding this incident. I don't believe the DA's office thought this was murder or homicide or manslaughter, because none of those charges came down. None of them were presented to a grand jury. And I believe that if the DA's office had believed that to be the case, they would have filed such charges. This is, in the truest form, a terrible, terrible accident. And we understand that everybody here has a duty that needs to be performed, and we ask that the court do nothing over the top other than to follow the agreement. And we would ask that that be done with the understanding that Mr. Teo is remorseful and has pled guilty and understands the gravity of the actions that were taken by him that resulted in the loss of life.
Okay. Anything from the state?
Your Honor, we just asked the court to follow your comment.
All right. Court will find you guilty as previously stated. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration 2019 CR 12685, 2022 CR 5759, and 2022 CR 5760. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
Your Honor, we have, I believe, 3 victim impact statements.
All right. Do you have the dismissals? Or have those already been tendered?
I think those were previously.
All right. Mr. Teo, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. All right, the next issue is the motion for return of property. My understanding is the state is in agreement that the property be returned to the defendant's father, and it is the 1993 Ford Econoline EF 150. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, the court will sign that order. We can go off the record. Mr. Teo, how old are you?
I'm 39, Your Honor.
All right, I see that you're very remorseful. This is what you have to understand. You're not super young. Sometimes people can understand if it's an 18-year-old, 17-year-old, they're not really expert drivers or have been driving long. So maybe it's shock. Let me run home to mom and dad and see what we can fix with this problem. But, you know, the law is the law. If it says you have to stop and render aid, even if that aid is calling somebody and say, hey, there's an accident, this person needs help, you got to do that. You understand?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right. So what's going to happen next is there's going to be victim impact statement. What I can tell you is in this courtroom, I require that everyone to treat everyone with respect. Just listen to what's being said and try to internalize it. Okay.
Okay, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. All right. State.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, I had something planned, but after listening to the little argument that just happened, I can't do that. You left him on the side of the road like a piece of trash. You didn't slow down and look. It was not construction at that zone at the time. You only worried about you. Forget about everything else that might have happened. He might have been alive, he might not have been alive. Did you stop to think about what that would do to us, to him, to your 3 daughters, to your family? Oh, you're worried about our stuff and our criminal history at run and hide. That's not a man. That's a child. A man stands up for what is right. No matter if it is going to give him shame, send him to jail. You stand up with pride. But no, you acted like a 2-year-old child and ran and hid. Then you came in this court and asked them to let you go. You run and hide. You come back in this court. Oh, I've got 3 daughters I have to support. You run and hide. Do you know how much I hate you at this moment? And it could hurt you. And I'm a very forgiving person. I've never had this kind of hatred before. And how every answer is to stand over here and let you look at me. This is the first time I've ever seen you show any emotion, except for when they were pleading this 10-year thing. It's a bunch of shit, but I gotta take it. So to sit there and believe that you're actually worried, you're not worried, you're not sorry. You're scared for yourself. A true man is like my husband. He did 15 years in, 21 years in the Air Force. Taking care of other people. Putting braces on them so they could walk. Helping them get through surgery. Giving. Every ounce. Giving. That's a man. And turn around and do 15 years civil service, still giving up leave to people that needed it, money that needed it, a shoulder to lean on, this main provider for our family. The love of my life, 35.5 years with that man. And you leave him on the road like a side piece of trash. And I'm supposed to have pity for you? No. I want you to think about it. I had 4 grandchildren. Still do, thank God. My youngest, my 2 boys. Were 1 and 3. For over a year, they thought their grandfather was trapped inside of a cell phone. Because that was the only way they could communicate to him. Now, they don't even know who he is. My 2 granddaughters try to explain to a 6-year-old why a man would leave and hurt their grandfather and explain heaven to them and make them understand what heaven is. That's hell. And all that you could do is run and hide. I have no pity for you. The only one I have pity for is your parents, your children. In this time that you're in there, I want you to think of all the hell and the torture you've put us through. You get to go home at the end of your time and see your children. They can come see you. Mary never gets to come home. I pray, but not for you, for us. To be able to forgive you. I'll never forget you. But to forgive you for us, so we can live the life that he wanted us to, not that you took from us.
July 1st, 2019, that's 3 years, 7 months, 12 days ago. You took my brother. The lives of everyone he knew and loved are forever changed because of what you did. The grief that you have caused this family is immense. Today is his justice. Today is our justice. I often wonder what he was thinking that morning when he was sitting at that light. Maybe the appointments he had that day. Maybe things he had to do that day or that week. Or maybe he was thinking of the cruise that they just went on for their 35th wedding anniversary. Places that he was going to go, people to see, all his friends. He had a life to live. And you took it. Your actions that morning caused the death of my brother. My mother's only son, her firstborn. She has to live with that grief now, and I have to see that every day. My mother cries because her son is gone. It should have never happened. Do you get that? Do you get that? His wife, his children, his grandkids, co-workers, we are all grieving. My brother was a caring person. He would have given the shirt off his back to you. He loved spending time with his family. Friends on Sundays, having cookouts. He was a good cook. It's sad because it's not gonna happen anymore. We don't get that anymore. I hope someday you'll understand the damage that you've caused. I would never wish harm on others, but you reap what you sow in life. And what you put out in the universe is what you get back. And I hope you live the life that you deserve.
First, I would like to say that I'm aware this will fall on deaf ears. I know through my years in my profession that all you care about is your commissary, your mail, yourself, and when you're getting out. I know you will make false promises about how you've learned your lesson and how you're going to change, so that you will not end up back inside or away from your family again. But we both know this to be false and full of lies. We both know that when you get out of your slap of the wrist sentence, that you will do good for a few weeks, maybe even some months before you revert back to your old habits and find yourself again in this position. A life like yours, full of crime, selfish choices, and prison sentences, can't help themselves or other behaviors because all they care and think about is themselves, no matter the cost to those around you. I can only pray that when the day comes that you get out, that you will not impact another family in the way that you have impacted mine. You took away a husband, a grandfather, a best friend, and a teacher. You carelessly took from us, him from this earth and a family, and didn't have any decency to come forward with what you have done. You will never comprehend the life you have taken away from me, my sisters, our kids, who now have to grow up not knowing the love, mischief, and joy only their grandfather could give them. His oldest grandchild, whom he called Bud, is the second strongest connection with him out of all of us. She's the only one old enough to remember him, to remember how much he loved her, how to play pranks and get away with it, how to bat her big blue eyes and say, "Grandpa, please," while getting everything she ever wanted. The pain and devastation your actions have caused her alone is something no sweet, loving child like her should ever have to face or suffer. We pray her memory of him is long enough and strong enough to last her lifetime, to share with her younger sibling and cousins the kind grandpa that they had, a man who loved his family beyond reason, a man who was loyal, supportive, even when he didn't understand, compassionate, stubborn, and headstrong. You took the life of a man who served his country, who helped multiple charities, who changed the life of thousands through his work with the disabled, and who helped make everyone's life better. You took his life with no remorse or care for those he left behind, leaving him on the road like a piece of trash, all because your life of selfish pride left you with warrants out for your arrest. He deserved more than that. He deserved to grow old with my mom, to watch his girls continue to grow in their lives, and watch his grandchildren grow up while helping them get in some good innocent trouble. You took away my superhero, my biggest supporter, my twin, and my blueprint of a good, kind-hearted person. The pain left in his absence because of your selfishness is too much to even fathom or place in this statement. There isn't a single day in the last 3.5 years that I don't think of him, that I don't miss him, that I wish I could call him and ask for advice or tell him about my day, or even think to myself, man, I can't wait till my dad hears this because he's gonna laugh so hard. Because see, him and we share the same sense of humor that I no longer have with anybody. Only to finish that thought, I brokenheartedly remember that I can't tell him or call him because of you. There will never be a day I won't feel this pain. It's unfair that a person like my father, who gave so much to everyone and whom everyone benefited from being around, is gone, while someone like you, who is selfish, thoughtless, and whom no one benefits from, gets to be here. You will continue to have communication with your family, cry over your commissary, your mail, and yourself, and eventually be reunited with your family and have a future. But my family won't. We won't get my father back at the end of your sentence. We won't have communication with him or have any future that includes him. We all have a bottomless pit of heartache and memories that ended on July 1st, 2019.
All right, thank you. Arturo Contreras Santos. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So this one, there's an immigration attorney, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, and Miss Teresa had written us a video letter which I provided to my client. I've also informed him of the collateral consequences based.
All right, everyone, please whisper.
I've informed him of the collateral consequences of that letter and of taking a plea. At this time, I've spoken with the state. There are a couple of items, 11 specific items that I need to review. before entering into a plea.
There's actually more that's about 22 items on my flash drive due to the sensitivity of this case. He scheduled an appointment on the 21st, 2:00 on the 21st to come to my office in order to look at this, the evidence in this case.
All right, that's February 21st.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and does he need an interpreter or no?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
Speak English.
All right, and state, did you present an offer or no?
I said, the state's offer as of right now is 20 years, Your Honor.
No, I don't need to know what the offer
Oh,
is.
Sorry.
So an offer has been tendered.
Your Honor, in this specific case, one of the main victim in this case does live in England. So if the case would have to be set for trial, we would ask for a special say due to the fact that I will have to get Essex police over here and also the child victim.
All right, so the court doesn't do special settings, but you have plenty of notice.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I think the flight from here to England, depending on what flight you is on, depending on the flight you're on, probably is like maybe a day. So what I'm going to do, Ms. Ferguson, I want this set for a plea deadline date, the week of March. The 6th, what date? All right, so your plea deadline date is going to be March 7th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. After that date, the court will not consider any plea bargain agreements without good cause. Otherwise, you have to plea open to the court. Do you understand? All right, do you have any questions about the process or anything of that nature? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank
Will be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, you're welcome. Contreras is, he's finished. Kevin Luna. Kevin Luna.
We lost the state, you're honest. Jason.
All right. So this was set on December 15th, 2022 for discovery for today. Just some history. In August, there was discovery for some surveillance videos. And then there was recall for September surveillance videos. Then October videos. And then December, I set it in to today. So where are we on these videos in discovery?
I believe they have one set of videos. I'm not aware of all the videos, Judge, and I'll tell you that I have discussed it with defense counsel. That they gave me a list of things today that were pending, possibly labs that they may not have access to. I just became aware of that today. In additional, they did mention videos, if there are any additional videos that I will look into and get. We also spoke about, and the items that they gave me, there's probably about 20 or so items that they want to know if they're still pending or not. Roughly, I don't have it right in front of me. I have a notes in my packet here. But then also additional to that, Judge, I talked to Mr. Esparza and Mr. Powers about setting up, thank you, an appointment to come into the DA's office, and it is 20, by the way, items on the, to make an appointment to come and look over our file and to compare notes to see if they have every bit of evidence that they're supposed to have on this particular case. So we are asking for roughly, I would be asking for a 60-day reset just to be able to make sure that all the labs and also the surveillance videos are turned over. And I know that you just went over quite a bit of stuff,
Yeah.
And so I do apologize for that. I know I wasn't here, but we are the state, so I have to take a lump on that if it hasn't been turned over yet, Your Honor.
All right, and so with regards to this case, because the only thing I have on my file is this is a capital murder, is this death penalty or no?
I also spoke with Mr. Sparza about that. My understanding at this particular moment, I don't know if there was an announcement or not. I don't believe, but at this point, I can't give you a firm answer on that, Judge.
We would like an opportunity to give
Mitigation.
mitigation memo.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out where we are.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, and
You're
what
not- you're
case
not-
I'm
you don't
dealing
see
with.
it yet. I know I haven't had the opportunity, and through my notes, I haven't seen that a decision had been made. I would guess this, Judge. I imagine a decision has been made. It's just that I'm not privy to it at this point because it's not in my notes or in the file that I've.
All right, so once they receive the discovery, I'm going to be expecting a decision to be made.
Oh, yeah, yes, Your Honor. I mean, that's something that we talked about. That's an additional thing that we did talk about.
All right, so Ms. Ferguson. On Mr. Luna. I'm going to do something that I've never done before. And so this means that the time I'm giving you all, things need to have happened.
Yes.
So the state is requesting 60 days. Defense, you have any problem with the 60-day?
No, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, I want this call back in 75 days. So in 75 days, all the discovery should be done. In 75 days, the state, you should have received a mitigation packet from the defense. So you all can make a decision on death penalty or not.
Yes, Your Honor.
So is that enough time for everyone? Is that doable?
I don't know when the 75.
Oh, we're about to get a date right now. All right.
May 4th,
Yes.
the day works for me. Fine with me, Your Honor.
All right. So of course, I write every down thing on the docketing sheet. So I'm going to show that the state asked for 60 days. The defense was fine with 60 days and the court gave you all 75 days.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate that.
All right. All right. If there's nothing else, you all are excused. Work off docket. You're welcome.
I'm just gonna-
Yes, this is discovery.
I'm just gonna step out.
Oh, sure. No problem.
Oh, I'm not worried.
That's the burner.
Call my case, it's outside. I just want to let you know we're back.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Angel Gonzalez. All right. What is happening on Angel Gonzalez?
I conferred with the state this morning. They still are not ready to tender an offer to me, but I wanted to let you know why I'm okay with that. Through my own work on the case, I do believe that when I get home this afternoon, I didn't get a chance to do it this morning because Super Bowl, but I will be tendering to the court an ex parte motion that I think I definitely need some time to have whatever I'm asking for done.
But where are we on the medical records, the cell phone extraction?
The cell phone extraction I have, the medical records, I have not looked in e-discovery, but I think that I should have those at this point.
State,
We do believe we do have the medical records at this point, Your Honor. We'll double check to make that those have been made discoverable for counsel.
But I know I did get Michael gave me the cell phone extraction and I have somebody looking at that. I had a little bit of trouble opening it. If there's issues with that, I'll get with the state, but I don't think that that's going to be an issue.
all right. Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset on Angel Gonzalez.
Sorry,
I need a 30-day reset on Angel Gonzalez.
you can come back on the.
All right, you're gonna come back on March 23rd. State at that time, you need to make an offer.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then we will see you then.
Do you have a preference as to whether I bring you ex parte motions or are you okay with just filing?
Oh, it's probably best if you bring it by because it gets lost in the system.
Okay.
And it'll be quicker.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Noah Cruz.
We have to get back judgments to check in with the misdemeanor about that.
Oh, okay. Rihanna Macias. And where is Rihanna Macias? All right, what's happening with this case?
Judge, I met my client this morning. We got an offer. We'd asked for a little bit of time to consider whether or not we need to file a breath test discovery information and those sorts of motions. That's it.
All right, do you have all the discovery from the state?
I don't know.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Macias, I need a reset date for 30 days for discovery.
And by then,
All right, we'll be back on March 23rd.
thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. You need to get a reset form. Mason Smith. Mason Smith. Matthew Cole. Okay, thank you.
Present, Your Honor.
And where's Mr. Cole? All right, who's the prosecutor we're working with on this? Okay. All right, the court is calling 2019 CR 7044 State of Texas versus Matthew Cole. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state, for the defense?
Austin Lady for Mr. Cole.
And are you Mr. Cole?
Yes,
Mr. Cole, you entered a plea of no contest to count one on December 16th. To the first degree felony. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at 6 years in the prison There's a $1,500 fine. The state is remaining silent on your application. There's an affirmative finding of family violence, and there is to be no contact with the complainants. Have both sides had a chance to review the PSI report, state? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state? Defense?
None at this time, Your Honor.
All right, the state is remaining silent. Defense, there are witnesses, I believe, for you in the waiting room. I admitted them. All right, who would you like to call?
First, I'd like to call Stephanie Maury. Miss Maury.
All right, Ms. Maury, can you unmute, please?
Hi.
Hi, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear the testimony? I'm sorry.
You keep cutting out.
There's an issue. There we are. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Now we have a problem with sound.
I'm gonna stand outside to see if I can get better signal.
All right, thank you.
She's
right.
frozen, Your Honor. I'm gonna move on.
All right, call your next witness.
Next witness is gonna be Miss Moore. We're gonna come back to you.
Well, Ms. Maury, can you speak up, please?
Yes, okay.
All right, so we're ready to go with her.
Miss Maury, my understanding is that.
All right, just one second. Everyone, we are on Zoom, so you all need to whisper, and please do not approach the court coordinator or approach up here while we're on Zoom. Yes.
Miss Maury, my understanding is that you know Mr. Cole from his time in Washington over the past few years.
Yes.
Okay. And how did you come to know Mr. Cole?
Mr. Cole worked next door at the grooming salon that's right next door to my business. I became very familiar with him. He was always very nice and generous when I needed help with anything for my business, like hanging Christmas lights, for instance. Like if I asked Matthew for help, Matthew would be right there to come and help me do anything.
And was he employed by you or just he would help you with odds and ends?
He wasn't employed by me, but he would just help me just because. I mean, just he was a generous person.
Okay. And did he seem kind to you and honest?
Yes, very kind, very honest. We've had some lengthy conversations. He's helped me along the way. I've been going through an abusive marriage, and he's been there for me to be a shoulder to cry on, to listen to me, to guide me. So.
Did at any point did he seem aggressive or like he didn't have control of his emotions?
I have never seen him like that. He's always just been kind of just low key, just very calm, gentle.
Okay. And in your experience with Mr. Cole over the past couple of years, did you ever know him to have an issue with alcohol?
No.
Okay. Is there anything
Never
else?
drank around me, so I don't think so.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the court at this time?
Yeah, I just would like to say that, Matthew, since he's been here in Washington, he's all I have known is he's just been a great individual, very loving, caring, to the people that he's close to and cares about. You can really tell because he really puts himself out there to be there for people. So definitely a good guy.
Okay. I'm done with this witness, Your Honor.
Any questions?
No cross-examination.
All right, thank you. You're excused, Ms. Maury.
Thank you.
Who's your next witness?
At this time, the defense would call Sean Malloy.
All right, Sean Malloy, could you raise your
Yes.
right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record, please.
Sean Malloy.
All right, defense.
Mr. Malloy, how do you know Mr. Cole?
Is dating and now married to my stepdaughter. Lived with me for about a year or so.
Okay. And when he lived with you, what kind of arrangement was that? Where did he live in the house? How was the setup?
So Elliot was living with me before they met, and then after she met Matthew, she asked if he could stay with her, and so they shared a room in my house.
Okay. And you would see them quite frequently in the house. Is it a big house? How many square feet is it?
It's about 1,100 square feet, 3-bedroom. So yeah, I'd see them every day.
Okay. And what was kind of their general attitude? What did their relationship seem like from your viewpoint?
It was a very good relationship. I have lots of animals. Matthew was very keen on helping me take care of the animals because I own my own business and work for myself. So I'm not always able to be home. And he was always the first one to step up to help take care of stuff around the house that needed to be done while I was working late or whatnot, take care of all of our animals. Very friendly and outgoing.
Did Mr. Cole ever work with you at any point?
Yeah, he worked with me on several occasions. He helped me, kind of taught me how to install flooring that I'd never done before, but he had previous experience with.
And you work as a contractor?
Yes.
Okay. Did you find Mr. Cole to be kind and not aggressive?
Oh, yes, very much so. I wouldn't have anybody working with me on any of my jobs I couldn't trust to be there because, it's my name on the job. So anybody working under me puts my name on the line. So I have to have trustworthy people to be there.
At any point when they were living with you, did you hear them fight in a way that made you question whether he should be allowed to stay?
No, not at all. They were always very kind and loving to each other. I mean, I never saw anything that I would not want him to be around for. I mean, he's living in my house. If he was a problem, he wouldn't have been living there.
Okay. Is there anything further you want to share with this court?
Yes, I'd like to say, Matthew, he's been a pleasure to be around. And I think it would be a real injustice to send him to jail or prison for something like this. There's nothing to be gained from it. He's been, nothing but helpful to our family while he's been up here. And he's got plenty of job opportunities when he comes back. So.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, sir. I'm done with this witness, Your Honor. Pass witness.
All right, any questions?
No question.
All right, thank you for coming in. You're excused.
Thank you.
At this time, defense would call Mark Williams.
All right, could you raise your right hand? For me, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you need to unmute, sir.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Mark Williamson.
All right, defense.
Mr. Williamson, how do you know Mr. Cole?
Well, he was first the boyfriend, then fiance, and now husband of our granddaughter, Elliot.
And have you spent time with him over the past couple of years?
Yeah, we had him at our house a lot for dinner. I find him to be an intelligent, respectful young man. If I ever needed help moving heavy things around the backyard, the deck, anything, he was always there. No problems whatsoever.
Did you ever see him lose his temper or?
No, I've never seen. Nope, I've never seen him act like that one bit.
Okay. Do you know him to have an alcohol problem?
No, never.
You said something that he was easy to get along with. You all kind of have an age gap.
Yeah.
Is that surprising to you?
It's not surprising, but I have known some. We're in our 60s. I've known some 20 somethings that are not the most respectful and easy to have a conversation with, but no, he's great. No issues whatsoever. Like I said, I find him to be very intelligent and can hold a good conversation.
Okay. Have you talked to Mr. Cole at all about his situation, what he's dealing with today?
No, I haven't spoken with him personally. No.
Okay. I don't have any, I have no further questions for this witness this time.
Any questions?
No question.
All right, thank you for coming in. You're excused.
Thank you.
Defense, any other witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor. At this time, I'm going to be calling Stephen Go.
All right, and just one moment, how many witnesses do you have?
2 more, Your Honor.
All right, he can come forward.
Try to be brief, Your Honor.
No problem. Oh, I'm here. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Stephen Go.
All right, defense.
How do you spell your last name, Mr. Go?
It's GOE.
Thank you. So how did you know Mr. Cole?
Mr. Cole is dating and now married to my adopted daughter, Elliot. I've known him for about 1.5 years. They also have both lived with my wife and I for about 4 or 5 months previously as well.
How long has Elliot been your adopted daughter?
Since she was 16.
And you do know about how old she is now?
She is 22.
So in that time, you've seen Elliot date different people?
Yes, I have. Matthew is the first boyfriend that I've actually liked and hadn't want to run out of my house.
Yeah. Why is that?
He's been a great person. The Matthew that I know isn't the person that brought us here today. The time that I've known him, he's been kind, he's been considerate, respectful, helpful. He's been wonderful around my daughter. And fathers and daughters. So that's important to me. And he's taking care of her. My daughter has severe asthma. He's always been there to take care of her when she has really bad attacks, taking her to the emergency room and then calling me to let me know that she's there. They both had COVID, and even though he was suffering, he was taking care of her to make sure that her asthma wasn't a concern with her COVID. So he's been a good person.
Do you know Mr. Cole to be hardworking when he work?
Absolutely. When they lived with us, he would help me with projects around the house, help me fix things. When my garage door broke, he helped me repair it. And I know he was working in some trade work doing asbestos abatement. He was working at a veterinary clinic. So he's always been hardworking and always trying to improve it.
Mr. Cole, what do you do for work?
I'm a senior property manager for the General Services Administration, and I manage the U.S. District Court in Seattle and the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Seattle.
Anything else you'd like to share with this board?
Yeah, I think that everybody deserves a chance. I don't think anything is served by not putting Matthew on probation. He has a child on the way. He's newly married. His family needs him. And I think he would be best served by being allowed to continue trying to build the life that he's started to build for himself. No.
Any questions? All right, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
At this time, defense call Don Cole.
Could you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up so I can hear in the courtroom. Reporter can hear.
Absolutely.
State your name for the record.
My name is Dawn Cole.
All right, defense.
Cole, how do you know Matthew Cole?
I'm his mom. So Matthew joined our family when he was about 8 years old. He had been in protective custody, the CPS, and we adopted into our family when he was about 8.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about his childhood, briefly.
Well, he had been through a series of about 5 different placements with us. His biological family had waived parental rights because of criminal issues and challenges, and had a grandmother that had an addiction issue that also wasn't able to care for him. He was bounced from a number of foster homes after that, and we adopted him when he was about to turn 8.
And how long did he live with you at home?
Until he was grown up, until he was about 20.
What do you want to share with the court today about Mr. Cole and why he should get a chance here to defer to probation?
Obviously, I think everybody needs to be accountable for their actions, and it was a very serious thing that happened. But I also have seen Matthew take accountability and change his direction. He's been taking anger management classes. He has stepped out of what was really a betrayal that triggered this, you know, with a close friend that they had been such close friends that he had covered for the one of the victims in this case many times. And I think when the relationship betrayal happened, it was a snap situation, but it's not a pattern that we see with him.
Ms. Cole, I think it might be a little confusing, but what exactly do you mean by that? The betrayal?
Well, the two victims in this case, Matthew was living with at our home with one of the victims, and she and he have a child together. She was leaving our home and having a relationship with his best friend, which when that ended, he acted out in a way that, you know, was not helpful, was harmful, but I think was also a emotional situation, not a reflection of the kid whose whole Instagram is pictures of dogs that he's met along the way. So
What else would you like to share with the court?
I would just like to share with the court that everybody needs grace, and I would hope that the court could issue some grace in this situation.
Do you think if you're given the chance to defer who he is now, he'd be able to successfully complete it and learn from his actions?
I do. I think a lot of the reason that he went to Seattle was to get out of the situation. You know, we say new places, new faces when we're trying to change our lives. And we've definitely seen that he's chosen to do that.
And did Mr. Cole get in touch with you when you guys were meeting well before he ever got the warrant to catch up with him in Washington?
Yes, he had. And I think, you know, speaking to his growing up, he knew that he needed to get this taken care of and stop running from it and move forward. And we were in talks before the warrant came up.
Anything else you want to say?
No, thank you.
All right, pass
All right,
witness.
thank you so much. Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Last witness before my client, Your Honor, Elliot Go.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Elliot, go.
All right, defense.
I think you have a prepared statement. I think it'd be good for you to read that.
Any
name is Elliot.
objections to the witness reading a statement?
My name is Elliot Go and I am Matthew Cole's wife. I met Matthew in August of 2021 and we have been together ever since. Matthew has always taken care of me, including the handling of my medical issues. He gives me my biweekly injections, sorts my meds, and does my cystic fibrosis physical therapy. He handles everything when I'm having an asthma attack and can't function by myself. He has always been very loving towards me and our family, and everyone in my life can attest that he's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. Matthew told me early on in our relationship about his legal issues, and we both decided to work together to get it figured out so we could move on with our life together. We researched lawyers and started putting money aside for our lawyer and our bail. We planned for Matthew to turn himself in as soon as we had set everything aside and could travel down to Texas. I believe people are capable of change and should not be condemned for mistakes made in their past, especially when they were still kids. I know Matthew has made mistakes, but I also know he is no longer that person, and who he's been working towards becoming is far greater than who he used to be. He has never made me feel unsafe or unhappy in our relationship. He has grown into a hardworking, loving, strong family man, and through thick and thin, I know he will always be there for our family. Matthew has taken so many steps to start a new life away from Texas and away from the people who provoked his juvenile behavior. And I worry about his mental health and the progress he has made over the last few years if he is forced to be back in Texas and in the system where the behavior he has long forgotten runs rampant. Matthew belongs in Washington with his family and his friends who have all helped him to see he is so much more than his past and have pushed him to grow into the amazing man he is today.
Elliot, are you pregnant right now?
I am pregnant. I'm 23 weeks.
Matthew's the father,
Yes,
and y'all recently got married.
we did. We got married on January 13th.
And briefly, what does he help you with your medical issues?
Matthew actually went out of his way in a lot of ways. He learned how to take my blood pressure. He's actually bought us our own blood pressure cuff, our own stethoscopes. He can also check my lungs to find out if I'm having an asthma attack or if I'm having laryngeal spasmings. He taught himself how to do my physical therapy for my cystic fibrosis.
which I didn't even know about, but he's the one that found that and has been doing that ever since, and it's helped me tremendously. He does my injections for my asthma, my sinusitis, and my throat problems, and those are bi-weekly, and he's the one that's always done them for me. I just truly believe Matthew belongs in Washington. He's so much happier there. And, you know, we're our whole family together. You know, we just love him. He deserves to be with us.
Does he, in your opinion, have any sort of issues with alcohol or
No.
drugs, that's these problems?
No, I know he's had a past, but we've worked very hard to make sure that he's safe with us. You know, we want to have a good family. We want to raise our daughter in a happy home. And he's been very good about making sure that we don't mess that up.
I have no further questions for this witness.
Any questions?
No question.
All right, thank you for coming in. Any other witnesses?
Last witness, this time I call my client, Matthew Paul.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Matthew Paul.
All right, defense.
Statement. I see you got it.
Any objections to the witness reading the statement?
The state would object to the defendant reading the statement.
That'll be sustained, it'll be in form of question answer. But let me have you all step back because I know the intention was for him to read the statement. So I'll give you a chance to.
We've talked enough, Your Honor.
I'll give you a chance to speak with him. Let me call a couple of more cases. All right. Dominic Brinkley. All right, so supposedly, we have it now, the first degree felony case. Where are we on this case?
2022 case, Your Honor.
The 2023 aggravated robbery.
For the aggravated robbery, Your Honor, the state.
Because I'm assuming that's what's going to be driving this.
Correct. So we are working right now. This is the first setting for us. I'm working with the state to see if there is a potential resolution for the 3 cases.
Do you have all the discovery?
I can't confirm. I do know that there's the potential that there may be some like hair follicle testing that was conducted. But I mean, I'm
On
not
an
sure.
aggravated robbery case, this is getting into the territory of Barnaby Jones. I haven't seen that before. But okay, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery and state at that time when he comes back, you'll need to be prepared to make an offer if he's received all the discovery.
March 21st.
All right, we'll be back on March 21st.
One moment, Your Honor. Okay, no, that works.
All right.
Appreciate it, Judge. And that's for all previous cases, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good morning.
Thank you. Oops, sorry. All right, Vanessa Varela. Where is she?
She's in custody, Judge. That's actually, normally asked me to approach you. It's Meredith's case. Meredith is still in the hospital with her daughter.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to, if you can recall it or reset it in a quick setting.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, let's reset Ms. Varela. Give me a 20-day reset.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Deputy Laura, can you let her know that her attorney is has a family matter and that we'll be back on February 27th? Ariel Reyes.
Jenny Callahan, what years
Yes.
he got called back to 26. I understand he visited with Norma and the clerk about taking over this case. He was appointed on aggravated assault.
All right, and when is the aggravated assault set, Ms. Ferguson?
He was arrested apparently on those in the middle of December. He has not been indicted yet.
All right, State, do you have on Ariel Reyes? Do you have an update on the other cases that are pending, the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and invading arrest detention?
Just a moment.
Okay. And Ms. Ferguson, I'm gonna need a 45-day reset.
I can go give that date to them.
Yes. All right, we're gonna come back on April 3rd, Mr. Reyes. The attorney who's gonna be representing you on all the cases is the attorney who's been appointed to represent you on the aggravated assault and evading arrest. And that will be Denny Callahan. So he was previously here, but he had to go to another court. So your attorney will give him that information. And counsel, if they want to be here, if they want to come back sooner than that, just let the court know.
Okay, I'll go back and see Danny. Thank you, dude.
All right, thank you. Brandon Castillo. All right, who's the, yes. Okay, my understanding is there are some cases that were sealed. I'm assuming they've been unsealed.
Yes, Judge, they were indicted. I want to say last.
Okay. Ms. Ferguson. If I could have a 30-day reset on Mr. Castillo.
Yes,
All right, and what are those unsealed cases?
Judge, I think it's an assault emergency worker, and then it's assault security guard.
All right, so we're going to come back on March 27th. Defense, if you want to come back sooner than that, let the court know. And that will be your date for discovery.
May I please support, Your Honor?
Yes.
Those two unsealed cases we were unaware of. There's no bond set for them, so we're asking the court if we can get a bond set. That's why he's in custody. We showed up to court for the case that we knew about, didn't know about the other one. So if the court is, if we can get a bond set, we can bond them out today.
All right, you'll have to file a motion.
I filed a notice of retained counsel, but
I mean, I understand that you didn't know. I mean, if,
but
Norma, can you see if the other court is available to hear a bond for Mr. Castillo?
Yes.
All right, have a seat. We'll see where we can get to you. James Lopez.
That's me, Judge. I believe this is a second setting, Judge. I'm still collecting discovery.
Yes, previously you had IT issues, so have those been worked out?
My IT issues have been worked out. I still don't have all the videos though. I need
All
to
right.
watch those, and we're hopefully it'll be wrapped up with this co-defendants, but that remains to be seen.
All right, what videos are we missing?
Body worn cameras, right?
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset for discovery on Mr. Lopez? James? Yes. All right, March 27th, state, they say they don't have the body cam.
I think it's an issue with my office, probably more than anything else, Judge.
All right, so when we come back on the 27th, whatever issues with the body cam needs to be resolved. And state on that day if you could make sure that you're prepared to tender an offer.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right, Thank you. Okay. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. Patricia Lopez.
Judge, I think they're outside right now conferring with some two different attorneys.
Okay. And we're still waiting on Noah Cruz. Tanya Lopez. All right, come forward. What's happening with this case?
Your Honor, we've gotten an offer. I've reviewed most of the discovery. I believe I have it all, and I just need a short continuance to explain immigration consequences and the offer.
All right, and does she speak English as the first language?
No, no.
So does stop chewing gum. You want to say that in Spanish? That she's not allowed to chew gum in court before the bench? All right, so she doesn't speak English. She prefers to speak in Spanish.
That's correct.
All right, so you need to have an interpreter come up here. Mason Smith. Hi.
Hi, Judge.
All right, so where are we?
We got a plea date on the misdemeanor DWI for February 27th.
All right, so what we'll do, Ms. Ferguson on Smith. We're going to set this for February 27th, but we'll note that you're going to be in the other court first.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, Ms. Ferguson. We'll give you a reset form. And Sean?
Yes, Your Honor.
Before I call Mr. Cole back up, you want to do a UA with him? All right, thank you. Brandon Sierra? Who's the attorney for Brandon Sierra?
Not actually me, but I'm filling in.
Okay. All right, what is happening? This is reset for jury trial. And it's set for February 27th. What is that?
Violation report is what I was told to come.
Yes, we do have an issue with the violation report.
His attorney is. She was required to be in federal court. That's why she had that ring.
All right, who's his attorney?
Sylvia Colossus. Thank you.
All right, so she needs to be here tomorrow then to address this issue.
Well, she asked if I could step in, and I think Mr. Sierra said it was okay. If you want to go forward, we've discussed it.
I mean, we can go forward, but things may happen that he may want to happen while his attorney is present.
Feel it?
So.
Just recall it tomorrow.
Mhm.
It works for me.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you give a reset form to Mr. Sierra for tomorrow? Okay, I'll take that up just after this. Just give me 1 second. Larry Foster. Hello, Mr. Foster.
How you doing, Judge?
All right, I'm doing fine. How, the important thing is how are you doing? Because I'm getting reports of high BRAC readings that you're testing positive for alcohol.
Yeah, I did. I had one violation since I've been.
Well, no, I mean, that's something you can't be doing.
I know, I had a circumstance that day. I feel worse than probably anybody do.
All right, I want him referred to felony drug court. I know he's been referred before, but you're gonna go to felony drug court and you're gonna tell them about your taking a drink of alcohol. You understand?
Sure.
All right, so I want him referred to felony drug court, and I also want a TAP evaluation. I mean, I understand that people sometimes, are not vigilant with their sobriety.
I've been on there a year. I've never had a violation except for this one.
I know,
I do what I'm supposed to do. I go to the crossroads twice and you can see.
but see, there is something that you didn't do. There's something that somebody that you didn't call.
Call the UA line every morning. I just test the.
Oh, you know what? They're not going to accept him, Vashon.
I was going to.
Yeah, they're not going to accept him. So what I'll do is we're going to do a TAP evaluation, and I'm going to want 90 meetings in 90 days. So you're going to do a TAP evaluation, and you're going to do 90 sober meetings in 90 days, okay? And why did you take a drink? Explain that to me.
Found a bottle in the house and I drank it. Didn't even think about it and went outside and blew. That was a violation.
Well,
No drinking driver. I thought the sharing was a little bit about me selling my car, trying to get the interlock. She said you might be able to put me on.
oh no, you need to be on the ignition interlock until that vehicle is gone. And also
I need to sell my car.
All right,
I
so
pay $700 a month and can't drive it. I've been paying for over a year now on that car.
well, you need to sell it because you need to be monitored. Once it's sold, then the court will consider some other type of motion.
I had an interlock system out. I got an offer from Carmel. I took this Saturday. Once I get them out of the car is gone. I don't have it yet.
Yeah. That's something where I don't want you to have any downtime. So I can't even have you remove the ignition interlock unless.
I can afford $700 a month.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
They're gonna repo my car if I don't get it out and sell it. It's a brand new car. I can't drive it. I haven't drove it in over a year.
Well, once you have a buyer,
I do have a buyer.
well, you need to tell them the ignition interlock will be removed once they take physical custody of the vehicle. And probation, once that's done, let the court know, because I don't want any time for him. He needs to be immediately put on another device. So, and probation, we're going to do field visits 2 times per month. And could you have someone look through his home and make sure there is no alcohol at all?
It's on right now 3 times a month. Probation.
Oh, thank you. Well, we're going to keep it at 3 times per month. And Vashon, tell probation to please look and make sure that there is no alcohol in his house at all. All right, thank you. Good luck to you.
As a condition, for the tapping and say follow recommendations, and then for the ignition interlock, you want to add portable device now, or you want to wait?
I want to wait till the vehicle is actually sold. So when that person says, yes, I'm ready to take possession of the vehicle, you need to immediately call probation, and then probation put him on a portable.
Okay. So follow.
Yes, we'll put follow recommendations, and then it'll come to me and we'll see what it says.
Alrighty.
But you had better be vigilant in your sobriety. You understand? All right. All right, who's here on David Martin? All righty.
Judge, I have Mr. Martin on, I think only one case, but we were summoned to court, but he's actually in custody on another case.
All right, he's in custody. I understand that he's in custody for the three cases involving promotions and things involving children. But what we're actually here for today is the drug case, because they're asking what I would like them to do with this violation report. So he's not in custody for the drug case. Am I correct in assuming that?
I don't believe so, Judge.
All right, state, what are you requesting with regards to the drug case? Because the drug case, the offense date is after the other cases. So the other cases are from January 4th. I don't think that he should be on a PR bond when he has these other cases. Somebody put him on a PR bond. And he has a child.
I think these cases came out after, Judge. They were.
No, they have the offense date as January 4th, 2023.
But I think they were at-large cases. So when he was placed on the PR, I don't think that anyone was aware that these were possibly pending. I don't understand them.
I can look them up real quick, but I mean, if it's the date of January of 2023. I don't know when his PR bond was actually granted though.
No.
But I can check real quick, Judge, if you don't. mind.
Yes. Hello, hi.
How are you?
Great. Who's here with the interpreter?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Morning.
All right, and everyone, just put some patience in your pocket. I'm calling in the order in which I received the files. So it will happen. And is the interpreter here for Tanya Lopez? All right, come forward. And we're not on the record for this. So Ms. Lopez, your attorney has informed me. Oh, are you all ready to start interpreting? No, we don't need someone from the state. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, Ms. Lopez, I've been informed that an offer has been tendered and that your attorney has received all the discovery. Is that correct, counsel?
That is correct.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Lopez, if you can recall this in 2 weeks for a plea deadline date, please. All right, so we're going to come back on February 27th. At that time, you'll need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to, then your plea deadline date will have expired and the court will only accept plea bargain agreements with good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plea open to the court. Counsel, you said you're personally looking into our immigration issues.
That's correct.
All right. All right. Thank you. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Always good seeing you. Dimitri Jackson. All right, come on down. All right, so where are we on these cases?
Yeah, I think it's got arrested on a new case, the assault. I need some time to look at that. You got some big discovery on that and all.
All right.
You just got indicted.
Right, so do you have State, do you have the discovery for defense counsel?
I think we have. My understanding, we have whatever discovery there is.
It should be, I think I just tried to download it this morning. Or asked for it this morning.
All right, Norma, we're gonna recall Mr. Jackson for tomorrow. All right, we'll see you back tomorrow. Thomas Marsh. All right, if you can come forward, please. Where's Mr. Marsh? All right, I need a prosecutor. Court is calling 2022 CR 10886, State of Texas versus Thomas Glenn Marsh. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrahan, Your Honor.
Defense?
Warren Wolf.
This hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 11:32 a.m. The defendant has not been in the courtroom. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Mr. Marsh? All right. Defense, have you had any contact with your client?
Not recently. I have been in the past. And I have an active phone number. I left him a message. And I was hoping to see him here this morning.
All right, just one moment. All right, Deputy Laura.
There was no answer, Your Honor.
All right, state.
State's requesting a bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
All right, that'll be granted. Your client will be remanded without bond. If your client makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Patricia Lopez. Yes. People always want to have court in the hallways. All right, that'll be judge's warrant then.
Judge, I was hoping if we could just have like a real preliminary conversation. It was more or less that we reached an agreement on a to-do offer. My client just has an elderly mother she takes care of. She might have to be situated. So
What, have you all reached an agreement or no?
we believe we have, and I'm pretty strong.
I think with the, sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but Mr. Lee, I think he just wants time to her to turn herself in for TBC.
Oh, well, if you all work out the plea, then I'll give her some time.
And we were just trying to get an idea what the court would be open to, because she's got some, and that's what I was trying to roll out, that her mother's caregiver situation. She's a primary caregiver. She's elderly.
I mean, should she be a primary caregiver though with these charges? I mean, I'll give her some time. If you all want to enter a plea today, I will give her
Yeah,
some
that was the
time.
goal. I was just asking for 60 days for her to get her affairs in.
Oh, no.
Okay. I guess I was asking what the court might.
Yes. So I'm not sure. I'll have to hear the reasoning on the record. But whatever agreement you all work out in the other box, it needs to be, if you all agree to it, what will happen if she doesn't show up for court?
Oh, we discussed that. I mean, it's whatever the court deems appropriate at that point. It's an open plea. My client fully understands that. We're not pushing back on that. She just wanted to.
No, I mean, whatever agreement you all reach, I like to have everything in writing for the plea. That's what I'm saying. All right. So if you all want to work on that.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Thank you. Tucker Margowitz. Good morning. So why was your client late?
Which I know that there was some sort of problem with either traffic or line control. So I did get a text 5 minutes ago.
All right, why were you late for court?
I was here about 9:05. I just.
That's late. Docket is at 9.
I apologize.
All right. So is there a reason why you were late?
No, ma'am. Just-
All right, I require everyone to be on time for this court.
Yes, ma'am.
Some days I will leave the house at 7 a.m. to make sure I'm here for 9, okay? All right, so what's happening with this case?
Judge, I do need to get some more discovery. There's some ring cameras from the crime scene that are referenced and reviewed by an officer, but we don't have one. I checked today, the DA checked. We don't have those here.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Margowitz, please?
Would be the 27th. Oh, you said 30 days?
Yes.
March 27th.
All right, so we'll come back on March 27th for discovery compliance. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form and then you're excused.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, you're welcome. The party's back on Noah Cruz. All right, Robert Chevalier.
President. We're, Mr. Cruz is in county court 4 and the young ADA just got the file, so we're trying to work through it.
Okay, awesome. And then who's here on Chevalier?
I am in,
All right, my understanding is that this is coming back for tomorrow.
that is correct. Your Honor, yesterday, he sent me a message along with some documents that I emailed to Mr. Holmes, and he was tested positive for COVID yesterday at a clinic. So he made me aware. I sent it to Michael, but I haven't heard back from him.
All right, so tell them to come in and mask up, 2 masks.
He's positive.
Oh, yeah, come in.
Okay.
Double mask.
Sure do.
All right, thank you.
Any excuse, Judge?
Yes. Ruben Hawkins.
Judge, what's referring on that?
Okay. Not ready. And we'll go back then. And Noah Cruz, they're still working on that. And then Jason, is there an update on David Martin?
Yes. Yes. I think we got
Okay.
the answer.
Okay. All right, so what is the answer?
Okay, I mean, forgive me if I misunderstood, but okay, PR bond was given back in, on 1/9
Yes.
of January. Some of the charges did stem, that particular charge for this possession stemmed from back in 2022, January 2022, that we got a PR bond for. The PR bond was granted on 1/9/2023. Other charges were pending on 1/4/2023, so 5 days before this PR bond was given. That's the offense date for those. He was picked up on those with a warrant after the PR bond was issued, so the warrants didn't come out till after. However, when he was picked up, a new charge for possession on February 10th happened also. So the state was positioned as so we would be asking for revocation or taking that PR bond off because he did pick up another pending possession case.
All right, so counsel?
Separate admission.
I think that is, Judge. So I got notice, I think Thursday.
Mhm.
And at that time, I think he was out. We can get in touch with him. On Saturday, he got picked up on everything, the sex offenses and I believe a new case.
All right.
As far as the timeline, Judge.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court will issue a judge's warrant and remand him without bond. What we can do is if you want to have him brought over now that he's in custody, we can have another hearing on that and I'll reconsider.
And Judge, what I was going to suggest, and I already spoke to Mr. Cantrell, I believe he's on the almost like 4 other cases. So if you want to handle.
I'm more than happy to work that out. It works better, I think, with this one lawyer. So.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right,
Thank you.
thank you, you're welcome. And Norma, could you make sure Mr. Cantrell is on all of those cases? All right, we're gonna go back on the record on Matthew Cole. Okay. All right. So we're back on the record in 2019 CR 7044A, State of Texas versus Matthew Cole. Counsel, are you aware of your client's test results?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, so maybe we should discuss that.
Yes, Your Honor. So Mr. Cole has said to me numerous times he has no problems ceasing using marijuana and alcohol. I do know he came out positive today. It is legal where he currently lives in Seattle. I understand he's on probation.
But why would somebody come to Texas? Because he knows marijuana is not legal in Texas. Why would somebody come for a sentencing, telling me how he's changed his life, and then comes here only to test positive for drugs?
Your Honor, I think he's extremely stressed and anxious about the situation. I think he.
Well, that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help if somebody wants to come I mean, you know, counsel, it doesn't help you if you're asking the court, for example, for probation on the DWI, and because you're stressed about it, you drink and you come to court intoxicated.
Yeah, I'll let my client speak to his
Mhm.
particular situation.
All right, you want to ask him some questions?
Yeah, you've already been sworn in. So Mr. Cole, specifically about this test, before we get into your other statement, do you have anything specifically you want to tell the court about why you're positive today?
I'm positive today because I did smoke last week. I was stressing a lot about the court date. I have bad insomnia, and that's why I mainly used marijuana for in the past. And I stopped a week before the court date, hoping that that was enough time. Obviously, it was not. And I didn't smoke. I took an edible. I'm sure that doesn't make much of a difference. But I am making an effort, and I was no way meaning any sort of disrespect by coming in here and testing positive for marijuana.
I mean, I don't take it as a sign of disrespect. This is your case.
Absolutely.
I'm just here to hear it and make a decision based upon what I hear and the evidence that's before me.
Absolutely.
So.
Mr. Cole, what was the primary substance involved in the offense here?
Alcohol.
Okay. And, have you been drinking alcohol regularly?
No.
If you were to take an alcohol test today, would you be clean?
Yes.
You wouldn't have anything in your system past 72 hours?
No.
And if you were placed on probation and you were to start taking regular urinalysis, would your marijuana levels go down to zero and stay at zero?
Absolutely.
Okay. You understand that if you mess that up, the judge can sentence you to prison time.
Yes, I'm 100% prepared to put this behind me and do everything I can to make that happen.
Okay, so you had some other things you'd like to tell this court about why you should get a chance to defer probation. What do you have to say?
I want to start by saying that I understand the pain that I caused and the time that I've wasted. I've been making.
Excuse me, in the box, you're going to have to be quiet because you're right behind the court reporter. Otherwise, you can move it down to the end. I'm sure. All right, you can continue.
Yes, ma'am. I've been making a huge effort to better my life and better my relationships. I've been holding down stable jobs in Washington, and I feel like I've become a better person since I've separated myself from the friend group that I had here in Texas. They were a lot of the reason for everything, arguments with my parents, everything I always wanted to fit in. And I surround myself with a group of people here who did not have my best interest in mind and steered me off the right track. And now that I'm in Washington, I feel like I am on the right track. And my son is 5 years old, and I haven't been in his life for a few years now. And that really hurts. And honestly, it's more of a punishment. That is more of a punishment than any punishment the state could give me not being able to see my son. And that's all I want, is just to be in his life.
Worried you're not going to be able to be there for your other child?
I am. I love my family, and I want to support them however I can.
So, Mr. Cole, if something specific about your background, your history would make you more prone to want to fit in and be more susceptible to peer pressure?
I was adopted when I was 8, and so, I mean, I have my fair share of bullying. It's hard to fit in when you come from so many different homes.
When you came into this world, what's the situation started with?
I was addicted to heroin when I was born. And my dad was in prison. I don't really remember much. I was in and out of foster homes. I was originally placed into protective care because my grandma had a seizure at a via bus stop and I was with her. And they just decided there that they weren't fit. And they took me to the police car to CPS.
And you feel like you've overcome that trauma, you've grown from it?
Yeah.
Okay. But when you're young adolescent life, you struggle to make friends and you kind of
Definitely.
blown out of those people that came around you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else specifically you want to tell this court right now about why you should give a chance to defer?
I just want to be in my son's life. It's my main goal. I want to provide for him.
You have opportunity for work. Should you be allowed to go back to Washington? Do you have the opportunity to work there?
Absolutely. I worked at a veterinary clinic in Washington. And I resigned from there to start at a abatement company because the pay was better. Unfortunately, that company did not work out because they couldn't give me the schedule, like my work schedule and time for my ankle monitor officer. He wanted my schedule a week in advance, and the way they worked, they sent us our schedule the day before every day. So it ended up not working out. I did speak to the doctor that I worked with previously, and he says he's willing to hire me back. He just wants this to be over with. He was going to hire me back before I came to court today, but he didn't know what was going to happen here, and neither did I. So he wanted to wait until after today to make a decision.
You've been on an ankle monitor since October 2022.
Yes.
Have you had any violation reports?
No.
Let's have argument, Your Honor. I'm going to witness a past witness.
Any questions?
Briefly, Your Honor. Mrs. Cole, you said you have a 5-year-old child, correct?
Yes.
And who's the mother of that child?
Alyssa Garcia.
Is she the complaining witness in this case?
Yes, sir.
And where does the child reside?
I believe with my mom.
And is that in the state of Texas?
It is.
And if you're granted probation in this case, you'll be leaving to reside in the state of Washington.
I will, but I plan on fighting for my rights to the kid.
And as the court found out today, the use of marijuana is legal in the state of Washington, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's illegal currently in the state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
And you said that you use that to self-medicate for insomnia.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And with that knowledge, will you be using marijuana in the state of Washington to continue self-medicating with marijuana?
No, I'm not gonna risk anything.
Okay.
I'd rather stay up all night.
Nothing further there.
All right, any other witnesses?
Your Honor.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Your Honor, when Mr. Cole hired me, he had not yet been picked up. He did have an active warrant, and he said, I need to get this fixed. I need to come back to Bear County, and I want to get this situation resolved. Since then, he has worked with me. He did get picked up a little bit earlier than he had the money for bond, which was a little bit traumatic for him. But he realized at that point that the court was calling, and he had to come and atone for what had happened here. Since speaking to him and his family in Washington, he has shown a new family, a new life, a new way of living for him up there. Other than the violation of, coming here hot for marijuana, he will do everything correct with this court. I do think he would be successful and deferred. I do think his levels will go down and he will not be here for a violation. I think he's also shown that by being on an ankle monitor since October of 2022. When this court granted him the opportunity to go back to Washington on an ankle monitor. He's come back for several court dates and hasn't been late. He's been respectful. There was one specific moment when I was dealing with him on his GPS monitoring that I got to experience how Matthew gets under stress. And his dog was in the process of having a crisis. It actually looked like the dog was going to die. And he said, I can't get hold of my GPS officer. I'm going to take the dog to the vet right now. And I said, Matthew, you need to listen to me carefully. If you do that, you're likely going to get a violation and we're going to be in trouble. I said, you need to calm down. You need to get a hold of your emotions and you need to call somebody else to take the dog to the vet. And he did just that. He calmed down. He got a hold of his emotions. He had somebody else take the dog to the vet. He called his GPS officer and he said, hey, I'm sorry I was rough with you on the phone trying to get permission. I know it was last minute permission. And he moved past that. And generally, he's been that type of person that will listen to what I have to say and work towards getting his emotions in check. So despite what is a case that shouldn't happen, he shouldn't have gotten himself in this situation, and he recognizes he made a bad decision. This was a lover's quarrel, this situation, and he has moved past it. He's moved past his alcohol use. And I do think this will be a moment in his life that'll make a turn and not look back. But for all those reasons, Judge, we would argue that you put him on deferred adjudication. We'd ask for the least amount of time you would give. We'd ask that you excuse his positive marijuana tests and monitor him while he starts his deferred and that those levels go down.
All right. This is what I'm going to do. I have a lot to think about. I'm going to recall this for tomorrow morning, and at that time, I will make my decision.
Thank you, Judge. See ya.
All right, Ms. Ferguson will give you the reset form, 9 a.m. We need to circle that tonight. Ruben Hawkins. All right. So this is the last day the court is calling this for what we've been here for.
So we're off by a few months and my clients rejected the state's option.
All right. State, how long do you expect this jury trial to last?
Maybe 2 days, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson. Mr. Hawkins, can you give me a jury trial setting for 2 days? All right, we'll come back on April 3rd for a jury trial date. Your plea deadline date has expired. The court will not accept any further plea bargain agreements in this case without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plea open to the court. You'll be brought over dressed in for trial in whatever civilian clothing you have at the jail. If you wish to be attired in something else, you'll need to sign a clothing exchange. Counsel, if there's an issue with the clothing exchange, let the court know.
Will, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Daniel, those are fine.
Yes, that's coming up.
Thanks.
Daniel Rosas.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
Sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem.
My instructions to my office were call the court, let them know I'm gonna be in CPS court. Apparently they forgot.
Hey, it never happens. It's okay. We're patient here.
Judge,
All right.
We're here on an MTR.
Yes.
My client has signed everything. It looks like the state is going to withdraw the MTR. I just have a request to the court.
All right. What is your state? Are you withdrawing?
We are just,
All right. And what is your request?
can you put my client at the top of the list for ISF?
I mean, there's no way I can put him at the top of the list, but I will ask them to expedite it.
That's the best we can ask for, Judge. That's all we wanted.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. When are you going back to New Orleans? Not for any selfish reasons on my part.
You know, you can get it by mail now.
But it's not the same.
We've got it, well, it is, because it still has to travel.
No.
But we have a crawfish bowl. So.
But you know what, when somebody brings it, it's like they've had their eye on it. When it's going through the mail, too many hands are touching.
Well, that's my argument for why I don't.
I mean, it's just.
I don't go pick it up.
I mean, I don't want a Neil Diamond situation, hands touching hands.
But we'll plan something.
Okay.
I don't know when, but it'll be a surprise for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Making sure I got your-
All right, where's Brandon Castillo? All right, Mr. Castillo, if you'll come forward. All right, Mr. Castillo, I don't know anything about your cases other than what you're charged with. So I'm going to give you your magistrate warning in each case, and in each case, the magistrate warning is the same. So you're charged with assault, bodily injury on a security officer, and assault emergency service personnel, bodily injury. You have a right to remain silent. You have a right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can have one appointed to represent you. You will be allowed reasonable time and opportunity to speak to or consult with your attorney. You have a right to have your attorney present if there's any interviews with peace officers or parties from the state or prosecutors. You can stop or terminate those interviews at any time. You're not required to make a statement, but if you do make a statement, that statement may be used against you at trial or in court. You have a right to have an examining trial, and I think these cases are indicted. You have, if you're a foreign national, you have a right to have access to your consulate. If you need help filling out the application for a court-appointed attorney, a clerk will help you with that. There has to be determination made that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. And that determination will be based upon an oath that you give that all of your information is true and correct. If an attorney is appointed to you, they must contact with you within 24 hours. So what is time today? Time is almost 12 o'clock. So if they're appointed today at 12, they'll need to get in touch with you by the next business day. You understand?
Yes,
All right. Do you have an attorney that's retained on these cases?
not on these cases yet, or I'm uncertain, or yes, ma'am.
All
The
right.
same attorney, Mr. Bella.
All right. So do you want to be to apply for a court-appointed attorney, or you do not wish to be considered?
Mr. Bella will be representing me now.
Okay. So you do not want a court-appointed attorney, is that correct?
That is correct, ma'am.
All right. All right, State, do you have no contact orders in these cases? It's on Brandon Castillo. It's 2 cases. Who would the no contact order be with? They don't like it when I just put no contact with the complainant. All right, and if I could have you sign, your signature is just an acknowledgement that I've gone over these rights with you and you understand them. It's not a signature admitting to anything. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Deputy Laura, could you let him sign? And then I will give you a bond on each of the cases.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. And thanks for dressing appropriately for court. I really do appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I'll hold off setting a bond on that to see if Nahara is giving him a bond, and then whatever Nahara puts on there, that's what I'll. Yes. Okay. All right, you can have a seat. Your attorney is downstairs.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry. And Caleb Ruiz. Hello.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So what is happening with these 2 cases?
We received an offer from the state, Your Honor. I would like a little bit more time to discuss the offer with Mr. Ruiz. This is our first setting. This is a 2023 CR.
And do you have all the discovery?
I think so, Judge. I would like to make further explorations on that, Judge.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Caleb Ruiz, can I have a 3-week reset, please?
Yes. March 6th.
All right, your plea deadline date is going to be March 6th. At that time, you need to let the court know whether or not you're accepting the state's offer. If you choose not to accept the state's offer, then your plea deadline date will have expired, and the court will only consider pleas open to the court or either with good cause. Do you understand? All right, thank you. Anything else?
That would be it, Judge.
All right, thank you.
May I be excused?
Yes. All right, are we ready on? Oh, no, I just needed to know. Okay, all right. All right, thank you. All right, where's Demetric Jackson?
I think he's in Nebraska.
Okay.
He's on the reset for mom.
Oh, they gave me a magistrate's form. And then after that, it'll be Patricia Lopez. So after Mr. Jackson, it will be Lopez, then Jose Corona, and then Fabian Cardenas. All right, Mr. Jackson. Oh, I'm doing okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you your magistrate warnings. This is just your rights. All right. I don't know anything about this case. All I know is what you're charged with. So you're charged with possession with intent to deliver a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams. You have a right to remain silent, so you don't have to talk to anyone. You have a right to hire or retain counsel. You have a right to a court-appointed counsel if you cannot retain or afford an attorney. You will be allowed reasonable time to talk to and consult with your counsel. You have a right to have an attorney present during an interview with peace officers or during an interview with representatives for the state or with the state. If you start an interview, you can stop or terminate that interview at any time. You're not required to make any statement, but any statement you make may be used against you at trial or in court. If you're a foreign national, you have a right to have access to your consulate. You have a right to an examining trial. I note that you've been indicted. The procedures for obtaining a court-appointed attorney is you have to fill out documents under oath. Then a decision will be made whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. If you need help filling out that form, the clerks will help you with that. If you do obtain or are given a court-appointed attorney, that attorney must contact you within 24 hours. So if they were given notice today, then they have to contact you by tomorrow. Do you have any questions?
See what's going on.
Oh, no, I understand. Sometimes you come to court, you don't expect this. Do you want an attorney to be appointed for you or you want to? Okay. All right. So what I need you to do is I need you to sign this document. By signing this document, you are not admitting to guilt. It's just that I've given you notice of what your rights are. So we're going to have you sign that and then I will set a bond for you. Can somebody tell me what was his previous bond set at? And I'll write the bond on that, Deputy Laura, because it appears that your bondsman got off your bond.
I just spent them. I just went around 2 days ago.
I mean, here's the thing, you know, I can't interfere with contracts, but you need to let your attorney know. I will put your bond back at the same amount it was previously because I note that it's just that your bondsman got off your bond. That's why you have a warrant. Yes, Ms. Ferguson.
Give me 1 second. 15,000.
So I'll put your bond at what it was previously, and you'll need to talk to your bondsman. Who's his attorney? Can you see if Abel can come back, please? And we'll see if we can get your attorney to come back, and maybe your attorney can talk to your bondsman. Okay, just deputy, so I finished with Mr. Jackson, but I'm going to make sure that we speak to your attorney and have him contact your bondsman. You're welcome. Patricia Lopez. All right, so what's happening?
Your Honor, as it stands right now, we've had some really good negotiations with the state about how to resolve the case. Before we go on the record, I expressed support my client's issues with taking care of my mother. Court said basically we need to work that out. Deal with that ourselves. My client understands that. So with that being said, we continue to negotiate with the state, Your Honor, and ask for to come back on another date. This is just our first setting. So I think we got a lot done.
First setting was January 18th.
She was actually sick that day, Judge, so
Yes.
we sent her home.
Yes, so I put a notation, defendant ill but present. So have you all received all the discovery?
The state generally makes it available, and if we're not, we certainly let them know.
I
Has it-
believe I have.
Has an offer been tendered?
Yes, offer is today only, Judge, from the state, that is, so renegotiation next, so.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset? All right, you all need to be back on February 27th, and at that time, you need to let me know if you're accepting a plea or not. If you choose not to accept an offer that has been tendered, the court will not consider any offers without good cause. Otherwise, you'll have to plea open to the court.
That's after the second setting? What
That's
setting?
it. Yeah.
This is.
Oh, it's weird.
Okay, so this is the second setting, though she was sick the first time, but this is the first setting. Next-
Oh, I don't do that first setting.
Yeah, that's what I was
second
confused.
setting. Yeah, no.
Everybody's different.
Suzanne, Ms. Kramer knows.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. And Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. You all need to get the reset form before she leaves. Corona, Jose Corona. All right. What is happening with these cases?
So, Your Honor, there's actually a third case that's sealed
Sealed.
right now.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Corona, please?
28.
All right, we're going to come back on March 28th.
And Your Honor, just one final thing, the state informed me there may be an immigration issue that I wasn't aware of. So I'm gonna reach out to, I'm appointed, so I'll reach out to the MAC first.
All right, so is he a citizen or no? I'm sorry? All right, he says he's a citizen, but if you, okay, please do not chew gum before the court. All right, so he's saying he's a citizen, but if you want to check in that, you're more than welcome to do that. What's that hanging around your necklace? No, I'm talking about the male figure. I'm sorry, what? I can't hear him. What is he
It
saying?
says just like a figure. It's like
What is it a figure? You don't have to take it off. What is it a figure of? That's what the court wants to know. No. I'm talking about the necklace with the guy on it. What is that about? Yes, that you immediately wanted to put inside your shirt.
It's just
Defense, what is that?
Looks like somebody holding Poseidon's trident, but I'm not really sure.
All right. We'll go with that. All right, we're going to come back on March 28th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You need to get a reset form from Ms. Ferguson. And is there any issues with interpretation or no?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, who's here on Fabian Cardenas? Good morning. All right, what is happening with this case?
Your Honor, we conferred and the state has amended their offer. I've not had any chance to sit down with Mr. Cardenas regarding the offer and explaining at length. He's never had a felony charge before, and so I want to be able to explain that if I can. Just a short reset, Your Honor, so we can do that and have a chance to explain to the court where we are.
All right, do you have all the discovery?
I believe I do, Your Honor.
All right, how much time are you asking for?
It's 2 weeks.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 2-week reset for Fabian Cardenas for a plea deadline date? All right, we'll be back on the 27th. Ms. Ferguson will give you a reset form. All right, thank you. Norma, did we give a reset date for Mr. Deshaun Jackson? Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
We've actually set on the 20th.
Okay. All right, Norma, we need Ruben Flores for Garza,
He's coming in from Federa County.
Brandon Morris with Alan Brown.
I'm here on that one as well, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And then Will Brooks on Abelardo Torres.
On that one, Judge, we asked if you can come back tomorrow.
Oh. All right, could I see the file on Abelardo Torres, please? Yes, but my understanding is that the defense attorney who's on it as well asked that it be recalled for tomorrow. Because it has Will Brooks on it as well. All right, thank you. All right, thank you so much. Thank you for coming in. And also, could I see the file on Luis Mendez? And I'm assuming that's for tomorrow as well, Ms. Ferguson. It's with Will Brooks.
Yes.
And then on Raymond Ruiz, that will state Raymond Ruiz is going to be recalled for tomorrow. Defense counsel will be here at that time. On Raymond Ruiz, it has Bill Davidson as the attorney.
Well, he has the other cases. I have one of them.
All right, so,
I mean, I can come back tomorrow if the court wants.
all right, yes, we'll be back tomorrow on that.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Brandon Morris.
Your Honor, counsel's here. Mr. Morris is not present. He's currently in federal custody. This gentleman filed a pro se motion to have a plea in absentia on an MTR.
Yes.
He's listed as a fugitive currently, but he is in federal custody. I've provided proof to Mr. Escobar regarding this. The only thing I can say, Judge, I know that it seems pretty clear that he himself filed that pro se while in custody. I personally have not independently verified with him that he filed that. I know, I have to get some sort of.
And Judge, just to, I guess, clarify, that motion is supposed to be notarized. I think the motion that he filed was notarized, so that's all that's right.
Well, with regards, unless they've changed the law, with regards to them being in custody, that usually is enough, but what he has filed is not sufficient with regards to an abstentia.
Yes, ma'am.
So, counsel, do you have his address?
I do not, unfortunately, Judge. And that's what I'm trying to verify now, to find out where exactly he is. 'Cause I know that he did get sentenced, Judge. I just don't know where he currently is, like at the moment. So I can go see him or set up some sort of a conference with him. But I'm telling the court as an officer of the court, I'm diligently trying to figure out how I can get in front of him and see him.
Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna reset this because I have to reset it. I am in receipt of his letter saying that he wants to initiate this process so that he can be free of it. But the letter that he's sent to act in his abstentia is not in the proper format, and he hasn't waived everything. So with the abstentia, and I know you all know this, but with it, he needs to know what his range of punishment is. Somebody needs to let him know what the allegations in the motion are, and he needs to verify that he knows what the allegations in the motion are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reset this for 30 days. And if you want to look at the court's file, this is the address he has where he sent information to the clerk from.
I'd be happy to, Judge.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is Caroline, on this one, we're gonna reset it for March. We'll set it for March 30th. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, and you let defense counsel get a copy of that letter so they'll know where his last known address is. Hi, good morning. How are you doing? It's always a pleasure to see you.
My pleasure to see you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Good. How's your mom?
Oh, she's doing great.
Good. Tell her
Yeah.
hi for me, please.
Oh, I will. Anthony Cantrell, are you waiting on the court for something? What are you waiting for?
Also, the conditions of bond on Manuel Mendoza.
All right, did you review this or confer with the state?
I did,
Are they opposed?
they are.
All right, well, whenever the state is ready, we'll have a hearing.
We're ready, Judge.
All right, where's your client? All right, the court is calling CM 103934, State of Texas versus Manuel Mendoza. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state
Jason Jorgens for the state.
defense?
Anthony Cantrell for the defendant.
And are you Mr. Mendoza? All right, defense counsel has filed a motion to amend conditions of bond. And they're asking that he be allowed to work and GPS fees be waived. Counsel, with regards to GPS fees, I'll request it, but it's a third party person, so that part of the motion will be granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, with regards to seeking employment, state, are you opposed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are there any witnesses from either side?
I can have my client testify with respect to where he's gonna work, that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right, could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up. Could you state your name for the record?
Manuel Mendoza.
All right, defense.
Manuel, where would you work? If the court were allowed to let you go to work as a.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Marriott Hotel.
Okay.
And would that be during set hours? You would have set hours and you could let the court know or pretrials people know what that would be?
Yes.
Is that job waiting for you if you were to be released? Not right now.
No, right now. I can call him.
So but you feel confident that they would hire you back if you were able to release?
Yes, sir.
All right, state any questions?
Mr. Mendoza, have you made attempts to find a job where you could work remotely?
Yes, sir.
Remotely, that's fine.
Computer.
And have you had any luck in that?
No, sir.
What attempts have you made?
For medical companies. That's it.
And obviously, you understand that the crime in which you're charged with is a very serious crime, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll pass it. This,
All right, so with this hotel, what hours would you be working if the court were to grant this motion?
It varies on different hours, but I'm not too sure. I gotta call.
All right, so
But
I,
if you set a time period, Judge, we'll follow.
Yeah.
Just let, because it's 24 hours a day, right? So.
well, I don't feel comfortable making a decision on it when I really don't have like what days of the week or any of that. And I know the state is opposed.
we are opposed, Judge. We do have a copy of the offense report if the court would like to review it.
Any objection?
If it's going to assist you in bond condition,
Yes.
then we have no objection. And just let the court know that the victim and the alleged victim in this case is in custody now and never charged.
Okay. All right. Court will hear argument.
Judge, first off, with respect to the police report, my client has never owned a rifle and we believe it's false. But with respect to the bond conditions, we'd ask the court, we can come back with definite times. And if the court feels like it needs set hours, we can definitely come back with those set hours once we obtain those hours. And let the court know also that my client's never been in trouble before. This is the first time he's been before any kind of tribunal.
All right, with regard to the information that I have now, the motion will be denied. GPS fees will be waived. Counsel, if you want to come back with some set hours, then of course the court will reconsider. But there is not enough for me to consider granting the motion.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Everyone, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. Everyone, the court is breaking at 12:45. So anything that's not done, you're coming back tomorrow. Oh, you'll be here anyway. Ah. Can somebody, is there any way somebody can call downstairs to Miguel Nahara's court, Judge Nahara, and see if he gave a bond on Brandon Castillo? Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. So we'll see.
Brandon Steele,
Yes, the person in the shirt and tie.
that's the one that's from earlier, right?
Yes. Scott Marcellano or Marcellanio Scott.
That's my case, Sean.
I know I'm mispronouncing your first name. I'm sorry. All right, so we're supposed to be here for a jury trial, correct?
That's correct, John.
All right, we'll come back tomorrow and we'll go to trial.
Okay.
All right, just get a reset form.
I've seen.
And I will text Judge Nahara and see.
Hmm? 20 years.
Hi, how you doing? Hey, I was calling you because Brandon Castillo, the attorney, went down there to get him a bond, and I was calling to see if you actually gave a bond on Brandon Castillo. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay, all right, have a good one. Bye-bye. All right.
Yeah, she has.
Yes, which case?
Isabel Garza, she's a inmate.
Can I see the file on Isabel Garza?
I conferred with the state, with my client.
Ms. Garza, come down. All right, what's happening with this case?
So I conferred with the state and with my client judge. They have made her an offer. She and I are gonna go through the videos, to see whether she wants to take this offer if we get 30 days.
All right, so you have all the discovery?
I do, Judge.
All right, so let me see here. We'll set you for March 23rd.
Actually, Judge, I'm gone from like the 18th to the 24th. You want to do the 28th, 29th?
All right, or do you want to do it sooner?
No, the 28th, 29th is probably better.
All right, I'll recall you for March 30th.
Thanks, Judge.
All right. And is there anything else that's needed with her?
No,
Any
Judge.
evaluations?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too, Judge. Have a great one.
You too. Sebastian Castillo. Come forward. All right, what's happening with this case?
Judge, we're getting a discovery acknowledgement. I talked to the state, they're still working on getting an offer for me.
Okay.
I've got to look at discovery and go from there.
All right, we'll recall this on March 30th. And at that time, the state will need to be prepared to make an offer.
All right, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, any of the attorneys are ready?
Yes, may we approach on Cruz, Your Honor?
On Cruz? All right. Yes.
We have gotten an agreement and we've resolved the misdemeanor matter.
All right, so you ready to proceed on this?
I think it's being withdrawn now.
Or you can just. Whatever's easier.
Withdrawing sounds even better.
All right, so state, are you withdrawing the motion?
We are, Your Honor. He took care of the.
Okay. Mr. and I guess Mr. Cruz is still downstairs, or is he here?
Present.
All right, Mr. Cruz, come forward. All right, Mr. Cruz. Is there anything else that you need from this court in order to be successful in your probation? All right, so I'm not going to see you here again unless it's you completed everything, correct?
Correct.
All right, make sure you stay in contact with your probation officer, okay? All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Oh, you know what? For some reason, this one is. Pepperlines. I think you came in early. Yes. All right, who else is? Yes. Joseph Garza. All right, come forward. We're going to recall you tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Caroline, can you give him a reset form for tomorrow?
Bless you.
All right, so you'll need to be back here tomorrow at 9, okay? And Ms. Gamboa, give you a reset form.
Oh, when I tried to tell you earlier, I'll wait till he's here.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. Abel Gutierrez. Abel Gutierrez. All right, that'll be recalled for tomorrow as well. Timothy Hernandez.
Mr. Do I go to the courtroom? The reset?
Oh, just tell them that you're being recalled for tomorrow, but let them know you were here, okay?
Okay.
All right, what's your name?
Do you know?
All right, Mr. Hernandez, we're going to recall your case for tomorrow at 9 a.m. So just get a reset form from Ms. Gamboa. Thank you, you too. Caroline, this is Timothy Hernandez. Devin Magallanes. Devin Magallanes.
He never came in your office.
Okay, so we're going to recall that for tomorrow.
Can you hold on? We can read his copy. Give his copy. Yeah. You, your mom? Oh, okay, sorry.
Let me ask you something. Devin Magallanes, is he on bond?
Yes, he is. Mr. Adams was here and, you know. Like he's a client.
All right, state, we're going to go on the record. Court is going to call 2023 CR 0883 and 2023 CR 0884, State of Texas versus Devin Andrew Magallanes. Can I have state announced for the record, please?
State, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 9 a.m. It is now 12:46 p.m. The defendant has not made an appearance in court. Deputy Laura, did you make an announcement for Mr. Magallanes? And what were the results?
And he did not.
All right, state.
State's requesting a bond forfeiture on this case, Your Honor, or both cases.
That will be granted. He'll be remanded without bond. Of course, if he makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
This is a
Alicio Marino. Alicio Marino. All right, court is calling 2022 CR 6082A, State of Texas versus Alicia Maria Marino. Could I have state announced for the record, please?
Jason Gear, Henson State, Your Honor.
All right, this hearing was scheduled at 12:47 p.m. The defendant has not made an appearance. And Deputy Laura is going to call for her.
Your Honor, there's someone in the hallway.
All right, state.
The state's requesting a bond forfeiture, Your Honor.
That will be granted. The defendant will be remanded without bond. If the defendant makes an appearance, the court will reconsider.
Thank you.
Juan Emmanuel Orozca. All right, we're going to recall this case for tomorrow. Amanda Villegas. If you can come forward, please. All right, your attorney is not present. Who's your attorney?
I'm not sure.
You should know who your attorney is. This is important. You got to treat it like it's important. You understand? Let me see who your attorney is. Your attorney is, it's Joe Richardson. I'm going to give you his number that's listed. Be sure to call him. We're going to recall you for tomorrow if he does not appear. And if you request it, then the court will make sure that you have a new court-appointed attorney. And we'll have you come back tomorrow. You can come around and grab it. All right. They'll give you a reset form and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, and I believe that's everybody. The people in the audience, who are you here for? All right, come forward. Yeah, she's gonna come back tomorrow. All right, come forward, sir. All right. Do you have your form, your case setting form? It's that. Oh, yes. See. I think he is a Spanish speaker. And I don't go past C. All right, Deputy Laura, could you let him know that we're going to recall him for tomorrow?
Okay.
And we'll make sure that your attorney is here. Is your attorney, did you hire him?
Sí. Pero está en la corte, pero en otro.
He's here in court, but he's tomorrow.
All right, so he'll need to come back tomorrow. We'll give you a reset form.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, Donata. He's gonna come back tomorrow, but he'll need a reset. All right, and then I think that is us for today. All right, it's been a okay Monday, right? It's a Donata kind of a day. Oh, his case is here.
Reach out the version.
Oh, both of them were
Yeah.
dismissed?
No, it's one case. He just has two different.
Ah, so Deputy Laura, can you let him know his cases were dismissed? Happy Monday to him.
Does he have to come back for tomorrow?
Does he have more than one case?
No, it's just one.
Oh, yes, so
He
it's,
doesn't have to come back?
no, his case has been dismissed.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. How do you say you're welcome in Spanish?
De nada.
De nada.